manners and enough respect. Well, today we have a special video. This one is about the UIC. Personally, I think the UIC is a good thing. I personally still believe that the UIC is a good thing. But leadership is the problem. And today we're going to have some people who's coming from the UIC. We have Mark Cameron. Remember that. He's live with us. And we're going to have Miss Carlene Ramirez Acosta. She will be live with us also. So we know Miss Acosta based on the work what she did for the UIC. Just like so many other people, them do a lot of good work for the UIC. Believe me. Mark too. Everybody did a good job for the UIC. And I did videos already. I'm going to say, it no matter anybody who do even depend on the UIC, but as long as you come and you push the bus, the UIC bus, the agenda down the road. If I with more one hand you put on the bus and push this bus down the road, you have done something good for your country. Because the UIC is all about Jamaica. And the UIC is supposed to be the diaspora ticket home. Understand me? So, the other day, I was listening to an interview with Mr. Patterson, and this other guy wanted a coalition party, this young man, and he asked a question about Mark Renaissance, Cameron. And I want you guys to listen how Mark or Mr. Patterson answered that man. And you guys tell me if this is presidential. Be truthful, people, within yourself, and let me tell you something. Anybody with a soft feelings at the UIC, don't come from my page in a bull crap. Me block and delete you and kick you off. Me no works over here, so. Okay, me can come and use my 2x4 and verbally beat Andrew Ones on a daily. Beat Mark Golding. Who's the UIC? Wanna believe? UIC just get a free pass, so when we see corruption and nonsense in our eye, a country I talk about, you think a man and party. The UIC is supposed to be different. So this is what, listen how Mr. Patterson answer when this man asked about Mark Renaissance. And the same answer come when everybody leave the UIC, them never good, them never playing a part, they never push the bus if I have one finger down the road. I never do nothing, you never do nothing, you just toilet paper. Make we listen this together.
Tell the truth. Tell the truth. Me don't know, and the people don't know. But we see the breakaway. Cameron start up Jamaica, then left from UIC and do them stuff. But kind of educate me because I don't know and I really want to know. Honestly.
What do you want to know? What specifically do you want to know?
Why did he break away and start?
You have to ask him.
What was the
I can't speak for him. I mean, I don't know why he broke away. I can't tell you that. What I can tell you though is that much of what he shared with the public is false. That I can tell you. For example, Mark Cameron was not a founding member of the UIC. He was not a founder. He did not help to create anything in the UIC. I met Mark Cameron for the first time when I was running as an independent candidate in 2016. The UIC was not yet a recognized political party, and I ran as an independent right here in Northeast St. Elizabeth in 2016. Mark found me and attached himself to me. He followed me around. He called up a few.
Listen to the man say no. Mark found me and attached himself to me. Follow me around. No, Mark a big man, you know. Mark is a big respectable man, you know. I know Mark, you know. I go to Mark's house, you know. I even drop Mark at the airport. He's in Jamaica right now. Yesterday, I dropped him at the airport. Man, a big man, you know. Here, how the president is describing the man. Big old grown man. That is like. So these are like a problem here with Mr. Patterson. So we could continue to listen to this interview. Listen.
You're going to lose. You get fired. And so I fired on one day, and now she's going to try to bring me down. And we'll fire some more before that, and I'm going to try to bring me down. And we'll fire anybody who can't do the work. If you can't do the work, no problem. Tell us you can't do the work, adjust yourself and learn. But don't bother to become pompous and arrogant and things because you're being held accountable. You must know, well, watch me when I bring you down. You can't bring me down. You're bringing down Jamaica. You're bringing down yourself. I can't be brought down. I cannot be. I have already attained in my own mental sphere and physical sphere all that God has endowed me to do. I am simply lending myself now to the Jamaican people. If they can, that's their choice. I will go to my grave a very happy and comfortable man because I would have done what I am called to do. I don't need to be Prime Minister of Jamaica. I don't need to be President of the Republic of Jamaica. What I want to do is to know that I've given my best for us to have a safe, clean, and orderly Jamaica, one where everybody can live, earn, and retire with dignity in a free country. And we must have true liberty in the process. Life, liberty, and property. And that no one. And any way we can get it, I'm going to work for it. But I will never violate my conscience or violate my values. You can tell all the lie you want on me, but I will not lie on you. I will always tell the truth. So if you're a bad performer, I'll say you're a bad performer. And if you want to kill me for it, like I say it just the same way. You can say I'm doing something wrong, but I know it's not true, so I don't have to worry. Ask my teammate, I'll tell you, any one of them, they can come to me and tell me anytime whatever they think I have done wrong, and I will own up to it if I have done it. But they must be able to take the same, like I tell you too. If they can't take it, that's how it goes. Your turn.
All right, Mark, it is a question.
Powerful. Powerful. The strategy that you have made mention of earlier, as it relates to just moving through with the UIC and then afterward building a different strategy and a different party as it relates to the name and the whatsoever. That is brilliant in and of itself. And
Mark.
but the thing is, you were talking about some people that bring down type of people. Let me forget to their business or whatsoever.
That's what we're here for.
Yeah, but the Cameron, Cameron, that name ring a bell, I believe.
Yes.
Be one with the people and be one with me because I am tell the truth. Me don't know and the people don't know. But we see the breakaway. Cameron start up Jamaica, then left from UIC and do them stuff. But kind of educate me because I don't know and I really want to honestly.
What do you want to know? What specifically do you want to know?
Why did he break away and start it?
You'd have to ask him.
What was the
I can't speak for him. I mean, I don't know why he broke away. I can't tell you that. What I can tell you though is that much of what he shared with the public is false. That I can tell you. For example, Mark Cameron was not a founding member of the UIC. He was not a founder. He did not help to create anything in the UIC. I met Mark Cameron for a recognized political party, and I ran as an independent right here in Northeast St. Elizabeth in 2016. Mark found me and attached himself to me. He followed me around. He called up a few television stations and radio, and I got some interviews back in the early stages. You'll see him beside me in some pictures. And he was there. We even tried to do some stuff together where we did some t-shirt printing and and all of that for some young people. But the UIC was not something that he didn't have the capacity. Mark doesn't have the capacity for designing the things that we did. He was on the periphery, and he was there. He's a kind of, Mark is a what do you call it now? Somebody who he danced around the edges. A great cheerleader. He was there around the edges, but he did not formulate anything. He did not sit. He couldn't sit still for a second. So Mark was eventually. I asked him to serve as a VP, and I appointed him. He failed dismally, so we had to vote him off the board. He served for a very short stint as VP, but he couldn't perform. He doesn't have the competences, or he would tell you he didn't have the time. So one or the two, maybe the time or the competence, I don't know. But he was not able to perform in the capacity as a vice president. He has never sat down to help draft a line in our constitution. He has not helped to formulate a single policy. I have shared with him, for example, he had came up with the idea of having national debates, and he said, all candidates should participate in national debates. I said, yeah, man, that's a good idea. That's it. Mark has not contributed any other significant ideas. He has not written a single policy. He didn't attend almost any meetings at all. So
no monetary funding.
Oh, he gave $25 once. That I remember.
Mark will be here, people.
He gave $25 one time. He paid his membership fee once. He never paid the monthly fee. So Mark has been a non-member for a long time. He talks to people about me in the UIC. He used to big me up a lot on his platform and stuff like that. But some people are quite strategic. They're quite self-serving, so they try to play one. Look it up in the Art of War. You will see it. They try to play one thing, but they have another agenda in mind. But in any event, Mark has not been he said he brought a lot of people to the UIC. Where are they? I don't know who the people are that he brought to the UIC. If that's the case, they should have all left with him and taken their money with him. And, we've never had any major loss of donors. When the previous detractors left us, they left with their money, whatever dollar they were contributing, but they never seriously affected our donor base. Every time they attack us, our donations go up. Every single time. Right now, our donations have gone up. In May, when Carlos Gray, the Jamaican Carlos fell on them, made their major attack on us, our donations went through the roof.
You hear that? You hear the man that call me name? I'm not trouble with people. I'm a call me name, In them group, people send me stuff in my call me name too, He might beg donation money and him chastise me and chastise other blogger, and then him start beg the donation down about time. It's beg the donation, man, and stop going like a little boy, man. These are the things I tell about, man. These are the type of stuff from Patterson need to cut out. I don't come for every day I disrespect you. Do you know how much documents me have? I could have throw it out there right now. Mr. Patterson, you know what documents me have just from the other day, from the first video I do recently. I hope I stop me because that shot them, Mr. Patterson. More the back, come on, when you breathe, And that's the type of thing with the panopasa, More on the party grow. I'm going to tell you before, so you are the problem. I could continue to listen to this.
He saw through them and said, sorry, not going to happen. People tripled and doubled their donations. So every time they attack Joseph Patterson and the UIC, they help us financially.
So people, we're going to help him financially tonight. So all the people who is mad right now and angry, don't angry. This will boost the UIC. You hear the man say? Let me pull that up. I just got a look a bit. Mr. Patterson said this boosts the UIC. Anytime stuff like this happen, the UIC donation go up.
But he was not able to perform in the capacity as a vice president. He has never sat down to help draft a line in our constitution. He has not helped to formulate a single policy. I have shared with him, for example, he had came up with the idea of having national debates, and he said, all candidates should participate in national debates. I said, yeah, man, that's a good idea. That's it. Mark has not contributed any other significant ideas. He has not written a single policy. He didn't attend almost any meetings at all. So
no monetary funding.
Oh, he gave $25 once. That I remember. He gave $25 one time. He paid his membership fee once. He never paid the monthly fee. So Mark has been a non-member for a long time. He talks to people about me in the UIC. He used to big me up a lot on his platform and stuff like that. But some people are quite strategic. They're quite self-serving, so they try to play one. Look it up in the Art of War. You will see it. They try to play one thing, but they have another agenda in mind. But in any event, Mark has not been he said he brought a lot of people to the UIC. Where are they? I don't know who the people are that he brought to the UIC. If that's the case, they should have all left with him and taken their money with him. And we've never had any major loss of donors. When the previous detractors left us, they left with their money, whatever dollar they were contributing, but they never seriously affected our donor base. Every time they attack us, our donations go up. Every single time. Right now, our donations have gone up. In May, when Carlos Gray, the Jamaican Carlos fell on them, made their major attack on us, our donations went through the roof. People saw through them.
People, this man a liar, you know. A liar, that you know, people. A real liar. Come in and do the man, nothing, you know, people. People me use my page. Me 7,000 people on Facebook page, you know. 67,000 people me on Facebook, you know. A Facebook me use and push Mr. Patterson, you know. Out of some introduce him to a lot of you. Me look donation on all that people. And you hear the man I said me do something to him. People, what me do to Mr. Patterson? Not one thing, people. I him disrespected me. I mean, I'm going to go down in it right now because it's not my moment right now. Someone that going to use my feeling and get me head riled up now because me know I dash out the documents for Mr. Patterson. Because he said Mr. Patterson was like me. Him that do it. Him that dash out them documents here road and bury me. If Mr. Patterson was like in my shoes, him that bury me long time. Because you hear the man vindictive and go on and ray. So I go on and listen. Me a big man.
Sorry, not going to happen. People triple and double their donations. So every time they attack Joseph Patterson and the UIC, they help us financially because more people donated.
Okay.
So Mark Cameron has never been and is not a founding member of the UIC. Mark Cameron wasn't anywhere near when me and Craig McKenzie and Janice Collins, my wife, and all those other folks were busy working and formulating and trying to get our thing up and going. He wasn't there. But now he's telling people he was. No, that's his choice. I don't know why he's doing it, and I can't speak to his motives, even though it's kind of clear. But Mark has not been and is not. What he wants to do right now is to co-opt the UIC message. He wants to be able to say that somehow he was a part of creating that. I don't mind sharing, but dishonest sharing we can't do. Mark has not, and I repeat, he has not contributed anything significantly in terms of our policies or constitution. He followed me around when my car broke down, because I, traveling, my truck broke down up near to Mandeville, and him driving to somebody he knew, and him stayed there with me, and we fixed the car. Appreciate that, Mark, much appreciated. Him go interview at CVM, and him come with me, and him sit down. I was doing an interview with the Observer, and he was there, he sat beside me, and my wife was there, and he said his piece as well. But that doesn't mean somebody create nothing. Stop trying to take credit for things you haven't done, boss. You haven't done it. If you sit down, Mark, right now and try to go through a manifesto with him, he'll be, He doesn't know anything. You don't understand, Mark. Stop it, man. Behave yourself.
So Mark,
you see an opening, you saw an opportunity where people are leaving, some people are trying to break up the movement, and you see an opportunity to jump on the boat with them, and you jump on the boat with them to see if you can get something going. Traction for yourself. It's okay, Mark, you can go build a party. Nothing is wrong. Build any party. Anybody can go build a party. I'm okay with that. Build your party. You don't need to try to tear me down to build your party. Just go build your party. If you want to take all of our manifesto and say that is yours, go do that. That's fine, because if we have six parties in Jamaica preaching the UIC manifesto, I'm quite happy with that. So that's okay. You don't have to say that it's you who make it though, because that's a lie. But you can, in fact, go ahead and form your party. You try your best and get those people together and go through what I have gone through and build your party. That's fine. You have every right. I have no monopoly on political parties in Jamaica. But don't lie, don't steal, don't cheat, and don't try to destroy anybody's character in the process. You cannot build a solid character by destroying another man's character. And the funny thing is, you can't destroy my character because I need to build that. You can try to defame me. You can try to tell people bad things about me to play with their minds. But my character, Mark, that is sound and solid.
All right. All right, last time I'm not playing no more. You're right. Nobody don't want to hear that. All right. But let me tell you something. How we get to know Mark Renaissance. What you hear the man say a while ago? A lie. No fly man tell that song. Be a lie. Some Mark want to jump on the bandwagon and follow some people left. Let me tell you how we get to know Mark Renaissance before me call him on. Because Mark is going to come on and Lataya and Miss Carlene Ramirez Acosta. She'll be on also after Mark. Right? And they might come speak them truth. Because everybody need to be heard. When people come out to the UIC and speak them truth, them get kicked out and blocked and nobody listen to them. So we want to hear her side. Because we hear some stuff about her, like she never do nothing, she never push the bus. Same thing we hear about Mark. Someone Mark come speak his side. But let me tell you first before we bring on Mark, how me know Mark. Now, one night me and Steve Lynn, I was coming from Palm Bay, heading to Fort Lauderdale. I'm gonna pull out for the freeway and I was doing a live. Beating Mr. Patterson with the 2x4. And Steve Lynn called. Me and Steve Lynn a speaking voice. Anybody know Steve Lynn? Worked very hard for the UIC. Trust me. I'm sure Mr. Patterson would have said, boy, I'm not doing nothing. Same way. But Steve Lynn go up on the Prime Minister page and post up stuff about the UIC. Nobody in the work, so when they come to share the UIC contents, Steve Lynn was that guy. And Mr. Patterson never know Steve Lynn. You know? And me have to tell him, say, call the man. You need to know the soldiers them in your car, Mr. Patterson. Call Steve Lynn. All Steve I said, I try to reach Mr. Patterson, can't get him. Me have to call Mr. Patterson. I said, do you know Steve Lynn? No. But Steve Lynn, they over on the Prime Minister page. I push the UIC agenda. So Steve Lynn, they on the page, and me and Steve Lynn attack, and I beat Joseph. And guess what Mark did? Mark put in the comment, Mark see it, and Mark put in the comment section his number. And so we must call him so we could hear from a different perspective, a different side. So I see the comment in the comment section. I never answer him, people. I never answer Mark. I go and ask him, I never see it. Because at the moment I say, I don't want nobody else come from my page, come talk about nothing good about the UIC. Because I use my page, push the UIC and Mr. Patterson, sweep me under the rug. And I know Mr. Patterson can't tell nobody what I'm doing, you know. But he come live, say me lead something. People, oh my God. Me no lead nothing, people. The man come out and just out of the blues, people. Me no do this man nothing, you know. No, anyway, let me say, me now get my head hot, you know. So I'm tell Mark, I get to know Mark. Me never bring Mark on the live that night. But Mark was there to take up for the UIC. One next day, people, me did on a Fort Lauderdale and me there one car wash. I'll never forget. I was in the car wash. Me get this call from Mark. So Mark called me and asked me about, you know, what is going on. I can word about what is going on in the public. Because Mark said, boy, him help build this UIC with Joseph. Him did it from early. And I'm here to see the UIC. This is happening. Him saying last thing him know the UIC was doing good. He said good when he felt good when him saw Marvin and everything and the people on the road. He feel good. But now him see this, he feel bad and he want to talk to me. Listen to me, people. Remember me not know Mark, you know. So Mark tell me say, he want to talk to me, people. So me there at the car wash. Me say, where you at? He said, me there in Florida. There my yard. Me say, hey, me there in Florida to me there at the car wash. And he said, me send him an address. Come, let me have a reason right now. Come on, to see what I want. And as some get to know Mark, because Mark I take up for the UIC. Mark didn't like what I say about the UIC people. So when he hear Joseph a lie upon the man, that a big old lie people. Me there have to vouch the man. Me know Mark because Mark I take up for the UIC. Mark never like what I say about the UIC because he's a part of the UIC. Do you understand me? And hear the man a lie upon the man, right? There's some people. But I like them thing and I say me I call up Mark right now, yeah man, because I joke thing this. And yeah. Here Mr. Cameron.
Hello? Excuse me, hello?
Wow, Mr. Cameron, how you doing, sir? Good evening.
Well, I'm there. I listen to the lies and the innuendos and all the horrible things that come along with the human elements, you know.
Tell me your side, brother. How you feel about this? What you have to say about all this stuff? First
emotion that I have is I I felt like it is such a waste of time, you know. I wasted a lot of time supporting a movement that I thought would have transformed Jamaica in a positive way. Joseph said some things on his live that are completely false. Now, if you understand how everything went down, I never really went off on him that much because, to me, Joe cannot and has not achieved the things I've achieved in my life. Okay, I met Joe when I have this page called Jamaica Solutions Forum, and I wrote a hypothetical thing about if I were prime minister, which I have no feelings about that. I'm not really a political person, but I was so upset with what was going on in my country after coming back. You know, having left here in '79 and coming back, I always wanted to come back to Jamaica. And when I came back, I saw the dysfunction, and I just, I wrote to kind of just empty my head, so to speak, because I was so upset about what's going on. So when I wrote this, if I were prime minister manifesto, which is about 6 or 7 pages on my forum, he contacted me and asked me if I wanted to join the movement. To help him. Mm-hmm. Yeah, he contacted me and asked me if I wanted to help him. He's run as an independent candidate in Braze River. Mm-hmm. So I said, okay, fine. I was very encouraged because a lot of people don't really go to put themselves out like that, to run for nothing. A lot of people complain and don't do anything. Mm-hmm. So I figured, okay, I'd go ahead and help him. And at the time, I have different income streams. I'm not a person that have a job. I kind of semi-retired years ago, having sold my restaurant in California and my graphic arts company that I've had for 24 years. So moving back to Jamaica for me was just a chance to just kind of explore my artistic side and other things that I've always done, even in California. Anyhow, I helped him with. I was the chief strategist behind his independent run in Braze River. Mm-hmm. Nobody knew Patterson. When I looked on his Facebook page when he contacted me, he had 158 people on his page, which was a little bit discouraging. I said, hold on, this man run for office and he only have 150 people on the page. That's okay. No problem. I'm not against hard work. I've always had 4,000 or 5,000 people on my page because of the many things that I do. Mm-hmm. Hence the name Mark Renaissance Cameron, right? Mm-hmm. So I assisted him, and a lot of my friends are in government. Unfortunately, a lot of these people in my age group run the different stations in around Jamaica. So I was able to get him on the. I got him on the Observer, the front page of the Observer. Mm. Also got him on CVM and on TVJ. Mm. When we had a meeting actually at the Observer office, mm-hmm. and we had about 15 to 18 different mm-hmm. reporters, like a pool of reporters that came over mm-hmm. and spoke to us, myself, his wife, and Joseph. And we answered all the questions. Everything was fine. I said what I needed to say while I was beside him. Mm-hmm. And we decided that he was going to put a movement together. Now, he talks about the manifesto that he came up with. Now, let me say this to you, right? Mm-hmm. The UIC manifesto is not unique to UIC. It's the same manifesto as the NDM. It's the same manifesto as the Marcus Garvey political party. Mm. And now up Jamaica. Now you have to understand something, right? That good ideas are not exclusive to one particular person. Those of us on the outside have a better assessment of the problems in our country because we are the ones that are feeling the pinch. Government now feel the pinch. They are fine the way things are.
Like up the live, people. Like up the live, people. Like up the live. Share the live. Go ahead, Mark.
So there are So there are a lot of things that we discussed. They having the parish managers was one of my ideas, which we talked about. They having mandatory debates among all our candidates, so we could actually hear what the candidate has to say, and not just go on sound bites like power for the people and prosperity. Those are buzzwords that mean absolutely nothing. So one of the things that we wanted to do was to have every candidate before they go before the people and have a debate. Every step of the way. If it's not Patterson's idea, it is not a good idea. He does not support your idea. I was so how would I put it? I was so obsessed, for lack of a better word, with seeing a change in our country. There's a lot of things that I actually ignored. When you're so happy about somebody doing something, and you don't really think about it. You don't think about it because the things that they probably do that are not good, because you're so focused on trying to win. I didn't really is after things went down, I really saw that what was I doing all along? Why was I supporting a man like this? So, long story short, let me say this to you. Most of the things that we talked about, we did together with his wife. There's a guy named Craig, who we mentioned, Mackenzie. He also came to Miami, where I took him to meet the diaspora. I drove to West Palm Beach, helped him there. I bought all the material. I bought the Yes Foundation banner, which is like over $300. I didn't charge him for that. I didn't take the money back for that. When he was run as an independent candidate, because I also own a silk screen printing company, I printed his shirts at my home.
Wow.
I did this out of this trying to support. I wasn't a man who followed nobody. It's not like but in any case, even if I did, it was in my capacity to ensure that he was looked on in the best light. It was my responsibility to make sure that the media got to know Patterson, because nobody knew who he was. Most of the donors of UIC came from my page. Humphrey Sullivan, who was the first chairman of the UIC, was on my page. He learned about the UIC from me. When we started the UIC, he asked me if I wanted to be the leader, because he recognized how much people I knew, and he thought it would be a better fit. I told him I'm not interested in representational politics. However, I will help you to the best of my ability, and that's what I have been doing for from inception of the UIC.
Hold on, Mark. I'm gonna cut you.
When all those people left.
Mark, hold on there. Mark, hold on there. We could go back to when you met Patterson, because him said you attached yourself to him, so like a virus. Explain that part of it.
Well, I could not attach my.
He talk about the truck. Explain the truck thing there where truck broke down, and explain that to me. Like I saw like you're a yard boy, are you washing truck and cutting yard and all that thing there. Explain that to the audience, please.
Okay. He had a truck that I actually bought from him. I actually bought his truck. And I think it pissed him off because he didn't get the price he wanted, and I gave him cash, and him I'm not money already, so I'm just saying but I heard through Ramirez that he was pissed at how I bought the truck. I went to him and I said, yo boss, him say more X amount for it. I said, well, this me I pay, take it or leave it. And he took it because he needed the money. So I took it, and that's another story. But anyhow,
yeah,
he complained about how much money it was gonna cost to fix his truck. No, you don't know me move. We move with everybody. Man, I get to and move everywhere. That's so me stay.
That's true.
You know, a brethren in a Mike town named Bali who's a good mechanic, and I say, yo, there's a guy that I know that can fix your truck. So he met me in Mandeville, and I took him up to Clarkstown, where Bali fixed him car. Now, I stayed around there, number one, because I can. I don't have any, it's not like say, boy, I may have to check in or clock in with nothing. Number two, he was afraid to be in that area of town by himself with his wife. So although I had other things to do, I stayed with him. But I stayed because he was afraid of the environment in which his car was being worked in. So that is the reason why I was there with him with that. Now, as relates to going around with him and all that, I mean that was part of my job as the person who was the campaign manager and chief strategy man for the movement, because you have to understand something. My former company, Innovative Concepts, I had it for 24 years. That's what I did. I did marketing. I printed decals for American Airlines, all different companies. So it's in my capacity to help him as much as I could, because he didn't know anything about promotions. He's an accountant. He just came to Jamaica. I've been here. I moved back probably 10 years before him and built my house here. As a matter of fact, I built some townhouses out of cut stone here in Mandeville. So I was here a long time. I built 5 townhouses down here as part of another thing. Some of the things that I do. I'm also a builder. I build homes. So for him to give me the impression that music, I was falling around and attach myself to who.
You're breaking up, Mark. You're breaking up.
Like I said to you, when I met the man, he had 158 people on his page. Nobody knew who this brother was. He came from Spanish Town, moved to Braze River, having.
Mark, you're breaking up. Stop moving up, Mark. Go back.
Anybody know who this
Mark,
man is?
you're breaking up. Mark, you're breaking up. Stop moving around. Mark, please.
Go ahead.
You're breaking up, brother. So go back and look up spot where you did it before. I know you walk around right now. Yeah. Go ahead, bro. Continue.
Okay.
Yes, sir. We want to hear every word you say, man. We don't want to broke up, Yeah, man.
No, what I'm saying to you, right?
Yes, sir.
Before my political alliance with Joseph Patterson, I was the first Jamaican to go before Parliament and to force the bauxite companies to put sprinklers on the mud lake. And this was not in a political capacity. I did it as a citizen of Jamaica. And there are many things I could talk about that I've done. What I did with that in Parliament has never been done before, where all the heads of bauxite companies came into Parliament to hear one person talk. And that person was me. I ended up on Al Jazeera. If you Google bauxite problems, you'll see me there talking at my home about the bauxite problems. I also done presentations of my art to Mia Mottley in Barbados, to the Prime Minister's wife, to recently Lisa Hanna. I'm not a person that no idle man who I sit around a fellow brother who nobody don't even know. Most of the people that know Joseph Patterson knew him through me. So although I've kept quiet through this whole thing with what's going on with him, and I've kept my voice out of it, because first of all, me really don't mudfish and marlin don't par, see? John Crown and eagle don't par, see? So when I go on them foolishness, I'm not going to get involved with the small mind and small things that he's talking about, because there's bigger things. There's bigger things that I have been doing before I met him. So for him to go in and to give the impression like, say, boy, it would not have happened without him. I know a lot of people that have left the UIC. He cannot. You can tell how good a person he is by who he has left with him since he started. There is no one that is with the UIC from its inception beside his wife. I think there's one other guy named Joe P. who used to work for him. but there's nobody else who started with Joseph Patterson that is still around today. If you cannot keep the people that you have attracted, how do you expect to get new people on board to follow your movement? The biggest issue with the UIC is Joseph Patterson himself.
Yeah, don't move. You're breaking up again.
No, I said the biggest issue with the UIC is Joseph Patterson himself. It's not anybody else but him.
I was going to ask you
Everybody
that.
can't be that wrong. Everybody can't be that wrong. I was a faithful servant to the movement. I admit that. Not to Joseph Patterson, because I told him when I first met him, I said, brethren, I will follow you. I'll follow the movement. I'll follow you as leader for the movement. If our views remain, if we're aligned on our views for a better Jamaica. I said, any day that you move from that, I'm gone. And I told him that. Now, when I heard what was going on, and I heard what was going on with the breakup. Now, I never met these people before, but I heard about them. I heard how great they were. He told me that because from time to time I would check with Joseph. I said, how is things going? He would give me a report on what's going on. Say, hey, we just got registered. We're doing this. We have some great people on board. He even mentioned Howard McDonald, who has a law degree and who's also a chartered accountant like himself. So I was really happy. I was so happy that we had a great team running the UIC, and I could just go along and do what I normally do.
Me too. I was
I'm
happy.
not really, like I said to you, Carlos, I was not a political person like that. I just want my country to change. As a matter of fact, I called him when I heard about you promoting the UIC, and I said, yo, Joe, this brother Carlos, he might do live and all the thing and push UIC, man. I said, we're attracting some really good people. He said, yeah, man, we're doing well. And I said, so I was like in heaven. I was like, damn. I said, well, we have everybody on board. All we have to do is wait till election and we're good, right? So when I heard the little noise going on, you know, and I heard you online talking about how bad Patterson was, I was so upset. I was like, what the hell is going on here? I didn't know things got so bad. So I called Joseph and I said, Joe, what's going on in the UIC? Why are we having so much discourse, so much problems? He said, boy, Mark, these people are detractors. They're trying to form a coup against me and are trying to get me out and trying to take over my party. I said, take over my party? I said, it's a party for the people, brethren. What do you mean, my party? I said, what's going on? And he was very evasive. He didn't tell me exactly what happened. So I decided to join a WhatsApp group with the group that left. When he heard about it, and he called me and he said, Mark, why you joined that group? I said, because I want to hear the other side of the story. I said, I heard yours, and it's my right to know the full story before coming up with a conclusion. He was very upset about it. He said, well, okay, do what you want to do, Mark. You know, you do what you want to do anyway. I said, okay, fine. After listening to this group of people that I found very committed to the group, first of all, they were traumatized. Let me tell this to you. When I spoke to them, they looked at me with some suspicion because they heard me defending him.
I never trust her either. I never trust her either, and the same thing we tell Steve Lynn. Me not trust Mark either. Because he was down with Patterson. You understand me, people?
Right. So they were very suspicious of even talking to me. But I said, listen, man, I just want to know what's going on. I have a right to know. I'm one of the people that started this movement, and I want to know what's going on. I want to hear your side of the story. They told me about one of the council candidates that he had, that house burned down, and he gave the man 3,000 Jamaican dollars, and someone contributed 200 US to the councilman who's
Horace Johnson.
I forget his name because, like I said,
Horace Johnson. I know the story.
Right.
Right.
So and then somebody gave 200 US towards the gentleman's bills, hospital bill, and I was told that he cashed the money at a lower cost than what it's supposed to be, and gave the man the money minus the $3,000 that he gave him.
That they pay the hospital for urgence.
They also told me that for Labor Day, he helped an elderly gentleman to fix up his house. He did a live, went on social media talking about how he's helping this older man. And when he was finished helping the man, he gave the man a machete and a file and told him that he will have to work on his farm to pay off the money that he loaned him. But the worst part of it, which made up my mind fully on who this man was. Bear in mind, I'm also traumatized because I didn't know this. I've been supporting this man from the inception of the movement till now, that this is a man I supported. The clincher for me was when he asked for $300,000 a month for himself and his wife, and none for the candidates. Now, all the candidates are working equally as hard, and the donations that come in from people around the world and in Jamaica locally is to help the movement. Joseph Patterson is not the only person in the movement. So when he wasn't agreeable to giving the candidate any money, and he wanted $300,000 for himself, and they said no, rightfully so, they said no. He resigned, thinking make these brothers quail, like they must some little puppy dog and when they fall in line. But what him forget is that the URC attract independent thinkers. You can't hold on a URC person as your leader.
True.
They're gonna follow you if you're doing what's right by the people. So he resigned, and what I found out later is that the money he's been collecting was still in his wife's PayPal account. So all he had to do was walk away with the money and leave the duly elected NEC sitting by themselves. As a matter of fact, Carlene Ramirez will come on and tell you because she was there. I wasn't there.
She'll be on. She's coming up.
I was just trying to find out what is going on in the movement. And, there's a lot to talk about and I keep jumping, but let me say this to you. I called him when I heard about all that was going on and I said, Joe, for the sake of the movement, please step down. Please step down. I said, what you've done goes against our ethics and the flavor of what we're trying to do. I said, you have shown no empathy for the people that are working with you. And I said, you're not the person that I met when we started the movement. I said, you have to step down. I said, do not be like the woman in the biblical story with King Solomon, where King Solomon had two women claiming a baby. And one woman said, Solomon said, okay, we'll cut the baby in half. And the woman who the baby never belonged to said, yes, I will cut the baby in half. And I saw Joseph Patterson as that person, cutting the baby in half. And because of that, that is where we are today. Now, as you know, I was out of the movement and was happy with what was going on. I had no agenda but to support the UIC. Up Jamaica is a result of Joseph Patterson. I, along with the ones who left, decided to start Up Jamaica. I never had any plans before of joining Up Jamaica or creating Up Jamaica. As a matter of fact, it's one of my friends who I've known from a very long time, a local lawyer, who came up with the name Up Jamaica, and we discussed it as a group. How do we have the same type of governance structure as the UIC, and to add our own flavor to Up Jamaica, to pretty much enhance what we already had. And we all decided on our new manifesto. So this was not something that we thought about. It was organic. There was no coup against Joseph Patterson. The people that who are running Up Jamaica today, most of them are not interested in politics, brethren. They're not. This is just going to make our work much harder. But the good news is I can share with you today is that in getting our signatures to register as a political movement, both Jamaica Labour Party supporters and PNP supporters are signing our document to get us registered. And we will be registered by the time election comes around. Right now we're fielding candidates. We have collaborated with NDM, the Marcus Garvey political movement, and there's going to be a big conference on the 20th at the convention center. And we will have candidates to go up in the next election, brethren. I promise you that. And we are going to win because the Jamaican people are sick and tired of people like the Joseph Pattersons, the false prophets. How long, how much more should we suffer as a people? Do you know how it hurts me right now to know that the UIC could be a major contender today, and because of one person, we have to start all over again? You know how pissed I am, brethren? You know how when I think about the amount of time I've wasted, if you look at my page back then, I would look for any excuse to talk about the UIC. Any excuse.
That's
and
me.
He couldn't help but agree to that. All right? When he was running, I flew down on my own dime to run his campaign. I go up and down with bus with him and people. All I run man off for the bus, so come talk about the more money from us. Some you come up on the bus and say, yo, at 5,000 we normally get it. Mr. Brethren, we're upon the wrong bus. So right now, they cannot come off of the bus because we don't pay people to vote for us or to campaign with us. So they can come off now. You have to go through all of that. I was everything in that time frame deal with UIC. I did lives at my home in Florida. Him come there with the live together and talk about it with our Paul Campbell, the actor.
Mm-hmm. Wow.
Brethren, come up here and we do all these lives. And brethren, you know something? I don't have to bury Joseph Patterson. He's doing a very good job of burying himself on his own. I have no reason to lie, brethren. My record speaks for itself. Anybody who know me and know what I've accomplished in my life, right? I'm the only Jamaican to have cooked on all networks in America. Fox, NBC, CBS. Seeing, I made presentations to the Prime Minister's wife, Lisa Hanna, the Prime Minister of Barbados, Freddie McGregor. Let's look on my page. And he's trying to make it look like he's a little water boy. I walk around with him. But you know something? It's just... This brother, yeah?
Go ahead.
This brother is a dangerous brother. He's a dangerous youth you deal with in a brethren. That brother, listen, let me tell you something. For him to sideline all the things and all the hard work that I've done for this organization, it's hurtful that we are not a contender as UIC. But I'm happy that we know how sour the lemon is. Because he got squeezed. And you don't know how sour a lemon is until you squeeze it. So I'm happy to say that if our part in this whole situation is to expose a person who could have been a potential Prime Minister of Jamaica, because he's good at talking, brethren. Even the other day, we had a little talk, the other day, he and I, a sister of mine who I introduced to the UIC was so unhappy with what was going on. She said, Mark, let me put you in a group with me, you and Patterson alone, right? And me, you and Patterson, let's talk about how we can revive it, right? And, you know, because of the person I am, I'm very forgiving. I looked on it and I said, boy, I tried to think about it and I said, you know, how can I make this work? You know, because at the end of the day, it don't even matter as long as the UIC is in government. He isn't automatically president because the country will have to vote in for a president separately. Based on the UIC manifesto and Up Jamaica, the party leader is not, you don't automatically become the president. You have to you go to an open vote to the Jamaican people.
Mm-hmm.
Even thinking, okay, minister, because
You're breaking up, Mark. Breaking up.
Based on the constitution, you know.
Mm-hmm.
So, no, excuse me. So we're at a point now where we are licking our wounds from the issues we had with Joseph Patterson.
Mm-hmm.
And it's a very sad day for all of us. We are all traumatized by, you know, you can imagine a follow man for all this time and realize, boy, for 9 years, you follow a fraud. It's hard for deal now, Carlos. I'm telling you, Bridget, this morning I had to empty my head this morning and write some things on my page because I was so upset about the time that you waste. And, you know, I told him that he should step down. He blocked me from Facebook and he blocked me from WhatsApp.
Just like that?
But had the nerve, when he realized, say, him not go on film, right? Had the nerve to send me a WhatsApp message. I didn't know once you block a person on WhatsApp, you can come back on. I never knew it was possible. But I saw a note from him begging me to come back.
You want to read that? You don't want to read that letter? You want to read that letter, Mark? You have that letter close by?
You read it, Master, but I don't want to face. I mean, I can read it.
No, read. Go ahead and read it, man. Come have it, you know. Go ahead and read it. Go ahead and read, bro. Read it. Me have it, people.
Let me find it. Hold on. Let me find it.
Read it. Me have them, people. Me have all type of documents, but me rather the man read it himself. You read better than me.
And I'll read my response as well.
Yes, read the response.
Patterson,
and Carlene Ramirez will be on shortly, people. Devon Thompson, me see up on live. People who don't know Devon Thompson. And Devon Thompson, why me know the UIC? It's Devon Thompson draw me to the UIC. Devon Thompson, why me know the UIC? Big up yourself, Devon.
So this is what Joseph said to me. Okay, and he's actually online right now. I'm actually on and he's online.
Oh.
I'm on WhatsApp right now and I can see him online.
Okay.
I'm sure he's listening. But I'm not here to lie on him because I have no reason to lie.
Somebody probably send a show up on WhatsApp, go give him some watch a show. Yeah, I'm a watch, man.
Okay. This is what he said. He said, "Hello, Mark. The elections are coming soon and we really need to disrupt the status quo for the sake of our country's future. I would like you to help organize a constructive meeting with all those who you know that have left the movement. Let's see how we can get back on the train to rescue the nation." Some pretty word in a brethren. What's the word in a man? "We all need to come together for the common cause and not allow Jamaica to suffer anymore without the hope and opportunity of electing the UIC for a new and better Jamaica. I know you believe in our vision, mission, and values. You love our manifesto, yes, and I do. And I know you want to see our policies implemented. So let's put any differences aside and win this for the people of Jamaica. Let this transformation be our legacy as a gift to our children and their children's children. Can I count on your support to help me unite our people for good governance now?" That was sent to me. That was sent to me on January the 12th, 2023.
All right, this year.
24 p.m.
Your response?
I never responded for a few days because, number one, I was surprised that I was still on WhatsApp with him because he blocked me. I didn't know that. I said before that he could actually come back on and after he blocked somebody. I didn't know that.
Can unblock him? Mm-hmm.
Okay, so he said, so my response was, "Good morning, Joseph. I struggled with a response to your inspirational letter written for fools. And I now fully understand the similarities between the need for power and the need to serve our people. You had many opportunities to right your attitude fostered in bad judgment, but chose to ignore our concerns that would truly transform our country. And most importantly, was how quickly you deleted any avenues for dialogue after I expressed my concerns about your lack of empathy for the Jamaican people and leadership style. And when I asked you to step down, your actions were like the lady in the child dispute with King Solomon, who wanted the baby cut in half due to your selfish intentions, and sidelined a great group of people I am happy to have met, who are committed to a better Jamaica as I am. I told you when we first embarked on our journey together that I would support you as long as our direction is aligned, because in the political realm, I support the cause and less about who leads. And regrettably, we're no longer comrades in the struggle, but adversaries on principles with no possible alliance. I wish you well in your other endeavors, and I hope that this lesson in life will make you a better person." The last letter I got from him was, "Hello, Mark. Hope you and your family had a wonderful holidays and are set for 2023. It's most unfortunate that you have chosen to respond to my message in the way that you have. But it's your right to do what good." So, brethren, his utterances on the show recently is such a disappointment because I've not gone out and said horrible things about him.
Mm-mm.
And I do have a lot of horrible things I can say. For instance, one of my best friends gave him money to do a loan, a micro loan for someone, and he was promised that he would give him detailed accounts of his money. He has not since heard from Joseph Patterson. And this is what my friend told me after he found out that I was no longer aligned with Joseph Patterson. And you know what he said to me? I said, "Why didn't you tell me that he did that?" He said, "Boy, Mark, the way you're so passionate about UIC, I didn't have the nerve to tell you what this man did." I said, "Well, you did me a you didn't do me any favors, because if I'd learned about this earlier, I would have actually gone out and tell people that we've been following the wrong man for a very long time. You know, even when I came out, I've had people from in Parliament who know me. I said, 'Boy, I came out. I had no idea that." Him say, "Listen, you know, I'm glad that you left, but that's not a person that you should have even got involved in." And it actually looked bad on me, because them say, "Boy, how come you never see who this person is? How come you never see it?" And all I can say to everybody is that I was so hungry for change in my country that I didn't see these things. I didn't see it. But now it's so clear to me that all that people are saying before was true. That I was so blinded by our mission that I didn't see the person who he really was. And that is the part that I am really upset about, because the amount of money I spend on Joseph Patterson, of my time, as you know, time is money. I could have made millions of dollars with the same effort, doing other stuff that could have made me money. I tell you, and he can't lie about that. He cannot say that's not true. And nobody on my page can say to you that I didn't put a lot of time and effort into UIC. Me, I go down to CVM 6 o'clock in the morning because I got him an interview down there.
6
o'clock. And I'm going
o'clock.
to tell you something. 6 o'clock in the morning, Bridget, so which means that you have to leave man for about 5 o'clock, right? And I'm going to tell you something, man. Sometimes you have to look on people's behavior to understand who they are. When I went on there at the time, my car was in the shop, so he picked me up because we had to go there together because I mean link up the interview, see? He picked me up at 5 o'clock in the morning. No, we went there the night before, I'm sorry. We went to Kingston the night before. He picked me up at my home. I went to Kingston. I don't have no transport. We went there together. And he said to me when I was coming out to the car, we have an interview 6 o'clock and he was staying 10 minutes away from where I was staying. 10 minutes away. Less than that because them time in the morning you don't drive to, there's no car on the road. You know, the man said to me when I was coming out of the car, so Mark, you're gonna take a taxi to meet me there, right? Tomorrow morning? I said, taxi in the morning to meet you at CVM? I was like, hell no. I said, if you don't pick me up, I'll find my way there, but I'm not taking no taxi. The fact that him asked me, I get my interview on CVM Rasta, see? And him went call me, tell me when I come out of the car, say me must make my way to CVM at 5:36 in the morning. It shows you that for me, the man who was his most loyal supporter from day one, if you don't care about me, brethren, why would you believe that he would care about the Jamaican people? Why would you believe that he would care about the people? He don't care about people that support him.
So how far were you staying from him, Mark? About how far you stayed from him that night? How far would have to drive come pick you up?
I would say within less than 10 minutes, brethren. But as a matter of fact, I would say about 6 minutes. Because at that time in the morning, we had to be at the morning to go on the show at 6 o'clock, right? So I would say about 6 minutes at that time in the morning, you know? So, but fortunately, the person I stayed with loaned me her car, and I was able to drive there on my own. But the fact that he said to me that I should take a taxi or find my way there when we came down there together shows you the lack of empathy he has for anybody but himself, and he's severely narcissistic. If you want to know a narcissist, Joseph Patterson, because it's everybody's fault. The other day when I saw Carlene coming out against him, right? We're friends on Facebook. And just to keep abreast of what's going on, I accept friendship from different people. And I saw what was going on with her, and the next minute I heard she got kicked out. And I saw the kind of work she put in, and I thought about myself. And I thought about Devon. They mentioned Devon a while ago.
Yeah, man, there, man.
You know how much work, brethren, you know how much work Devon put in that thing there?
Devon is watching right now.
I even complimented Joseph. I said, Joseph, brother Devon,
Yeah,
I've never seen such a hard worker for the movement than Devon.
Hard. I let me know UIC. Devon let me know UIC. Devon work hard.
Mr. Devon, I do live. The man look like a seasoned reporter, brethren. And the man is a reporter,
Achoo. So sit them and do. I swear to God, no people.
Yo, man, you don't see the man on TV. Mr. Right, the brother look like he's a reporter. The man them hire for come on the live and attack them with it.
I'm an engineer.
Happy. Boss, I was so happy.
Me too.
That we're finally on our way. When Joseph called me and told me, say UIC got the required signatures to become a registered political party, I almost started crying. And I'm not a person that cry because he's a man who You know, afraid of nothing. But I'm very emotional like that. I'm very emotional like that. I felt like I wanted to cry. You understand? So I'm in a bad place right now, even talking against Joseph Patterson, because he, from one human to another, really like tear down nobody, and I'm not tearing anybody down. I'm just a mirror reflecting what he is, who he is.
Yeah.
I'm not telling any lies on Joseph Patterson. And if he wants to, we can also have a dialogue on your program.
Yeah,
I dare him to talk to me on a live with you or anybody, because he cannot dispute what I just said. Like I said to you, Joseph Patterson was nothing before he met me. Nothing. He might be something in his own Canada. He's made some achievements in his own life as a person, and that's kind of strong. No, I take that back. He was something to himself. But in the realm of the political sphere, or getting people to know who he was, nobody knew who Joseph Patterson was until he met me.
Wow.
Because I was a person that got him out there. He admitted that I took him on interviews on television. You think it's easy to get people on television, my youth? You think you can go up and call people and say, yo, no one come for your program? No, them not let you on because they don't know who you are. They knew who I was because of the things I've done. I've been on the middle page of the Gleaner, the business section, when I constructed and built my own apartment complex in Jamaica out of cut stone. I've been on Al Jazeera discussing the backside problems in Jamaica. All right? Them come down in my yard and interview me, go before Parliament, speaking to all the MPs and all the heads of the backside companies in Parliament by myself. Where the hell was Joseph Patterson when I was doing that? I wasn't doing this as a political party. I did this because I care about the Jamaican people. And I'm not going to have any little piss-tail boy come up and come mash up the thing. I'm not going to allow him to defame my character and what I've achieved without him. You understand that?
So, let me ask you a good question now. What do you think would be the best thing for UIC to grow and move forward? I understand, say, up Jamaica movement and all that. Is there any advice? Come on, you're still a good at it, man.
Well,
any advice
one of the things I shared with the group, and when I say share, I kind of dance around the edges. I never really shared that concept. Was suppose Joseph Patterson stepped down, because the duly elected NEC, they're still the leaders of the UIC now. Patterson is not the real leader of the UIC. Well, I didn't know that because we have his resignation letter. All right? But the thing is that nobody wants to be associated with the UIC anymore. To them, they were traumatized by the experience with him and the experience with him and the name. Queen Africa, who I speak to on a regular basis, she mentioned it. She said, listen, on air, she said, yo, the UIC is fractured. UIC is no more. He also got Tanya Stevens on his side, and even she started to endorse him, And I even called him when she endorsed him. I said, yo, my youth, you're going good, man. Tanya Stevens, I support you, Rasta. I say, yeah, man, we're attracting new people and whatever. But once they get to know the man, Joseph Patterson, they leave. So he can't blame me. He has to blame everybody that has left. He have to blame Queen Africa. He have to blame Tanya Stevens. What did Tanya Stevens do him? Tanya Stevens endorsed him. You endorsed him. Everybody endorsed him. So what? We are mean people? You are going to put your reputation on the line. I feel sorry for you, because you kind of lose off, Bridget. You kind of lose off, because as a blogger, I see, as a blogger, your word is very important. Being truthful is very important.
Yeah.
And when you endorse somebody, you are endorsing them based on your reputation, you know.
Oh yeah.
So if your endorsement was wrong, you know, Bridget, you are affected by that. And I don't know if it affects your numbers and all that, but it certainly affects.
Not really. No, because my people,
I don't know, but I don't know what the numbers are. But when I said to me, I tell you right now, some people say, boy, Mark, you have to look on your side eye because you go out on a limb with a brother for so long. Something is wrong with your judgment. How come you never see this, brother? You've been there the longest.
Yeah.
I mean, it's been 9 years, and we're talking about my separation from the UIC was just recently, you know. Was recently when the duly elected NEC was dismissed without due process and was not in his control to do so. He was dismissed, and him dismissed them because he had the money.
Carlene come up and she got dropped. She gonna give us some enlightenment at that too about his dismissal and all that. Okay. Boy, I tell her I was behind the people. Me piss sometime in the Mark, it make me angry sometime in the Mark, me angry sometime when see the water work and put it for the YC, you know, and get dash out the road like a dirty water.
And you did it for nothing because I asked Joseph, you know, I said, Joe, this brother Carlos, right? Are you paying him to do all the work I do? He said, no, I'm just doing it because he want to support the movement.
Yeah.
I said, right, you're lucky. I said, you're lucky.
All the t-shirt
to come on for you and push a thing like that and not get the money. Yeah. I said, boy, and there's a blogger on top of that because most bloggers want money in a bridge. They're not going to do nothing.
They do it for free.
Just so.
Even by, hey, Mark, not even the t-shirt the man give me for free. If I buy the t-shirt, the man.
And I want to tell you something. That gave me a lot of respect for you back then, but I want to tell you this. I was highly pissed when you were costing them off when you gave me 2 before, without me not knowing what was going on. You know, I was not happy with what you're doing.
Me know.
You know, but you know, that is life. We learn, we move on. The members of the UIC that left. Do you know we planned on doing a full page ad about why we left the UIC to protect everybody else that may come on board. And our lawyer, we met with Donna Parchment, who's a friend of mine, and I've done some. She's with the political ombudsman. She's my friend on Facebook. We've done lives together on CVM, talking about corruption with my page, Jamaica Solutions Forum, and she said that it's an internal matter. So we have to sort it out with Joseph Patterson. We went to the ECG, and there are some documents we had to provide. And if we provided those documents, which we could have, he would have been thrown out of the UIC. However, we believed that we would be looked on as being vindictive. Because a lot of people there are not mean people, you know. I'm sure if it was reversed, he would have done that. But a lot of people there said, you know something, we don't want to go through this anymore. We've already been traumatized by Joseph Patterson. Let this just be a lesson to us that you don't put blind trust into people, but verify, you know?
True.
And we all did. We all trusted this person because he said everything we wanted to hear. Everything that we wanted to hear, he said it. But we have preachers that do the same thing too. They will tell you all that you want to hear. Exactly. You know, but I can tell you this though, and I will vouch for this. Joseph Patterson has the best honey in a St. Elizabeth.
Yeah,
because I buy him honey.
Yeah.
I buy him honey.
They get honey for him too.
Me buy him honey. So if this not work out, which it now work out for him, I suggest, I give him free promotion. I tell him right now, so because he's a chef. I'm in deal with food. Joseph Patterson has the best honey in St. Elizabeth. So make him go and go sell him honey and leave people alone and stop fooling people because he's not what he professed to be. And another thing that people don't understand, there's a video on YouTube, which I think he may have taken down. This video had me, his wife, and Joseph Patterson talking at the Observer office, where I spoke and he spoke. And do you know, when I met Joseph Patterson, right? He said to me that he don't care who become prime minister, who lead. He doesn't care who lead. He doesn't care because he's not into it. Do you know, wife on the video, that he always wanted to be prime minister? Do you know that? But it was taken down because that does not fit into the narrative of what he's been telling people, that he don't care who the leader is. He don't care. He actually cares. His wife said it on tape that he always wanted to be prime minister. He always wanted to be prime minister. I never wanted to be no prime minister, brethren. It's not my thing. I just want a good government. And I tell people before I got into Up Jamaica and start whatever, I said, listen, if Mark Golden or Holiness adopts a UIC structure, or Up Jamaica structure of government, or even a NDM or a Marcus Garvey, because we're the same kind of structure. A directly elected president, directly elected Senate, and the DPP either elected by the Senate or an open vote. We're good. But they're not going to do that. They're not going to do that because it doesn't give the Jamaican people the power that they have in their hands. So they're not going to do it. So we have to start our own movement. And I'm encouraging everybody that is on this live, please share and spread the word that on the 20th of August, the National Patriotic Movement that
Break up, Mark.
you call us.
You broke up right, Mark. You break up right there. You break up right there.
Sent about 5 years ago in a bridge.
Mark, repeat that. Repeat that. You broke up.
I said that.
Now I hear you.
No, pitch. Pay down.
You're not, Mark, you're not coming through.
So to have everybody there. Okay, is that better?
Mark, you we not hear start back over with that event you're talking about.
I said on August 20th, the National Patriotic Movement headed by Carlos Daly, your namesake. He paid down on the convention center 5 years ago in an effort to unite the whole of Jamaica who want a different type of government. So everybody's going to be there on the 20th of August. There are going to be different speakers and different persons from different movements talking about the kind of government we want.
Wow.
So there's some interesting times ahead and some dangerous times too, because the oppressor now going to us easy in our brethren.
No.
What we're doing as people is not is not safe. All right? Because enough man eat a food off of the government right now. Enough man, I talk about millions of dollars. We just hey, me can literally retire and just not do nothing and just enjoy my life. But it's hard to enjoy my life in a country. It's hard to do that song that comes to mind by Luther Vandross. I'd rather have bad times with you than good times with somebody else. That's what I feel about Jamaica. Me can't do America and I enjoy life and I walk and I travel the world and enjoy life knowing that my people are suffering because of governance. And like I said to you before, governance is not something that I get up and say I want to be in government. When I went before Parliament, and recently when I went when I went to Jamaica House a month ago to speak about to the Constitutional Reform Committee, I never expected to be doing that. But I have to do it because I want a better country. I love my country. And I recognize that you love the country as well.
Oh, yeah.
And we want the best. We want the best for our country. And all we need to have is the Jamaican people support what we're trying to do. Support the initiatives that have been put forward by all the opposition parties.
Hold on, Mark. Megalian, come over here, so shut your mouth and cover the noise from my page, come black and delete you. Okay? Where you come from? When Sinasa support UIC? Do you know these people? Do you know me? Do you know others who left? Come up and pay to the fact. Because UIC is not supposed to be like that. This is not no PNP, nor JLP. Don't make me for black you. Continue, my brother. Sorry.
Well, there are people that will come in and say things.
Give me a last word, then, Mark, because Miss Carlene is waiting. And we don't want to fall asleep before she come on. I mean, no, she can't sleep right now. She wait right now like I want to run at the track ready to come out. Give me your last final word, Mark. Polish it up, make the people hear your word. Final word.
The final word is that the lady Megan, we just block her or whatever. She was just like me.
Yeah.
I was defending Patterson just like Megan is right now, and I feel sorry for her. I'm sorry that he's still under the spell of a Joseph Patterson.
I still chill, but I mean, chill. Come on.
And you know something. It's a phenomenon. If you're a gambler, and you bet money and you lose money, and you want to get your money back, so you put more money in if you gamble, if you get your money back. That is exactly how these people are. They're hoping and praying that what is being said, that them can win. But that's not the way it is. All I can say to you is that my final words are to you is that we don't need to bury Joseph Patterson as he said. All you have to do is look on who is still with them from the start of the movement until now. They have all left. So Joseph Patterson is the biggest detractor from an otherwise great movement. But people, there's hope. It's a lot of work, but Up Jamaica will be the next government of our country. And everybody that's on board, they love the manifesto, they love what we're doing. And you know what Queen Africa said to me? She said, Mark, of all the movements, and it's not, just to be clear, it's not an endorsement. I don't want to say the wrong things. But I don't want to get pissed at me either. She said, Mark, of all the movements that are out there today, Up Jamaica is the only pure movement that she's seen.
Wow.
This is not an endorsement. I want to be very clear about that. Because I don't want to say the wrong thing, make she come pissed off at me and say, boy, she did not endorse her movement. She said it's the only pure movement that's out there today. That's what she said. And I'm just saying to you that people just look on us, look on what we're bringing to the table. We have great experience. There's some great people on board. McDonald, Deborah, the twins. I don't, you know who they are. That have Marvin and all them guys, and who have put so much into this movement. And we just have to do what we have to do to ensure that we can leave a country to the next generation that is fair and inclusive and free from corruption. So,
all right,
that's all I have to say, Bridget.
Hey, Mark, thank you for coming on, brother. Come give a little bit of clarity and that rule.
My pleasure. I'm gonna just look online and see what's being said and respond appropriately to anything. Like I said, I have no axe to grind. I supported Joseph all the way up till the end.
You know that.
All the way up to the end.
Are you supporting Joseph?
So he cannot say I was not a loyal supporter of the movement. He cannot say that. And for him to say what he did online is outright disrespectful. And I don't know what to say. Anyhow,
my brother,
come on as brethren.
My brother.
Take care of yourselves.
Respect. Thank you so much.
Yeah, man.
Talk later.
Yes, sir. Cool. Yeah, man.
People, what you guys said about that? Let's say about that. Now everybody can hear his perspective. Now a country are running up people. Me often say in a backyard barbecue and a hot way I cook. So me can use my 2x4 verbally beat Andrew every day. Beat out Mark Golden out of the hole. All this stuff. I mean, want to believe. But let me tell you some people. You see, when we was with UIC, like Mark, like Megala and writer, so I was the same person too. Yes, I was the same kind of person. We never want nobody talk nothing about UIC. Even when Marvin and Howard and Tommy them left, I want to tell me the things that Carlos, like, the story said, have Pitney always say, Mama, your mouth so long. And the mama say, yeah, grow, you soon find out. Me never hear what them say. And me come on my page, I know, like a big dummy. That's how I was down in the movement. And say, no UIC without Mr. Patterson. Because them that ask him step down from then, because them see stuff. Them see what I go on, them in there see what I go on. And me, they are foreign family page, blind like a bat. So much. And I said, no, Mr. Patterson, no UIC. When you go on, when I go and left the party alone. So I was like that to family. So I listen to these people come out there before me and they know the inner working, you know more than me. And so it's Carlene Ramirez, who we're going to call right now, so she come speak her side of story. Because everybody need to hear, man. Everybody need to hear everybody's side, people. And a backyard barbecue. Because when we get friend and say, Carlene Ramirez, let me hear her story, and I did it. We have a problem with it because she never gets to voice her opinion, then block her. If she have something to say, hear her out now, man. Don't just block her and dash her like she dirty water to the side. And I see you with everybody. You can't keep nobody like that. So if everybody come around and say, all right, if one man come and say, Carlos about a picnic, you can't say, you know what? We know Carlos. Carlos know better than that. Allah you are tell the man. Go find yourself, Allah you are tell the man. But if everybody come and tell us Carlos about a picnic, hello? Can I hear that, man? And UIC is supposed to be different people. That's why I joined. It's not no Labour Act. It's not no PNP. The UIC is supposed to be totally different, my family. So, without no further ado, I'm going to call Miss Ramirez online, people. Make you come tell me what I want because, call her, people.
Hello.
Good evening, Miss Ramirez. How are you doing?
Not too bad, all right?
Yes. You're live on Jamaica, Carlos, and the world is watching, Miss Ramirez. We've been.
Oh, I am.
Yeah. So, we want to hear your side of story because we've been hearing stuff. We've been seeing stuff, one side of the stuff, and nobody has been hearing from you. We don't see you nowhere about no fire nowhere. We don't see you show Mr. Patterson at the bus. I see a few articles that they put out there. I have some in my possession. And we want to hear your side, man, because our country are run on a backyard barbecue. So, good evening, man.
Good evening, and good evening to all your viewers as well. But did you see I sent you all a video?
Yes, you sent me a bunch of you sent me a bunch of stuff. You sent me a lot of you sent me a lot of
yes,
stuff.
I would love for you to. Is it possible for you to play that video for me first?
We sent the video. You sent the video on the 510. Send the video on the 916. Send it on 916. Can you do that?
Well, I'm going to try. So give me a minute.
Yeah, just hang up and do that. Hang up and do that real quick. Hang up so you can be clear and do that. Yeah. Send it to 916. Everybody must be heard, people. And the backyard we are cooking on us. So. We have to listen to the lady. That's I mean, she needs to be heard. Because I know so she was walking off her tail over there. And now Mr. Patterson comes and say she wasn't doing anything and she this and she that. Just like, everybody else never do anything. So, I just say no, people. I talk to these people before them come here. So this platform is not a tear down campaign for Mr. Patterson. As you can see, Mark carry himself very well. He never tear down Patterson and call him name as, treat Patterson like how Mr. Patterson treat him. Miss Ramirez Acosta, same way. You're going to listen how she speak. These people are educated, them, intelligent people, you can hear them. They're not stupid, right? And UIC is losing some good people, and I don't like that. And everybody now hear the truth because I hear Mr. Patterson at evening time. For them look at thing, and these people are buried. Someone want to hear from she. It's very important. She's what, General Secretary? She was. So she's a person who's in it. So she, someone want to hear from her. It's important that we listen to this lady. And I'm sure there are other people want to talk to. You have people like Miss Lataya Wolf here. You have people like Devon Thompson here. Real founder. Long time him there. Real founder. Yes, I think we get this. Okay. So I'm going to play the video that you sent to me. You said I must play it for you guys. If you're watching Mr. Acosta.
If you are working for a narcissistic boss, whether they have narcissistic personality disorder or high narcissistic tendencies, this video is for you. I get so many questions about narcissistic bosses who are wreaking havoc on their employees, and yet to others, like the board of directors or the public, they come across as almighty heroes. And if you try to expose their bad behavior, there will be hell to pay. If a group of employees tries to band together to take them down, somehow they still manage to come out on top. And in this video, I will explain why this happens, and I will also describe why commonly suggested strategies to deal with a narcissistic boss will backfire and make things worse for you. And I will also give you a few self-protection strategies to preserve your sanity while under the reign of terror of your narcissistic boss. I'm Lisa Blanc. I've been working as a therapist for over 20 years and as a life coach for more than a decade. I post videos every week on topics related to mental health and relationships. And if you like this video, please subscribe to my channel and click the notification bell so you don't miss out on anything. I'm going to say up front that my number one piece of advice for you if you're working for a narcissistic boss is to get a transfer, switch departments, or find another job if at all possible. Now, you may be thinking, why should I have to leave? I was here first. But the thing to remember is that the narcissist will not change. So you need to ask yourself if this is someone and something you want to deal with for the rest of your career. If getting a transfer or getting another job is not an option, then I suggest seeking mental health support, because the narcissistic boss will continue to demean you and do everything in their power to break you down mentally and emotionally. So if you have a narcissistic boss, I'm sure you have already noticed that good, competent, respected employees tend to get the brunt of their destructive forces because they are seen as competition or as a threat, or because they are not feeding the narcissistic boss's need for admiration or attention. See, if you are not providing narc supply, you are useless to them. And the narcissistic boss will do everything in their power to replace you with someone that will be of better service to them. Someone who will supply them, serve as flying monkeys to do their dirty work, spread rumors and just be on their side when others try to stand up for themselves. So work becomes like a game of Survivor. The narcissistic boss is getting off on manipulating and working to get people on their side, keeping some close while simultaneously tearing others down. They use fear, humiliation, a we-them mentality, and they send the message that if you're not on their side, you are not a loyal person and you become a target. And in meetings, they will devalue your work performance, your credentials, even your character. And oftentimes others sit idly by, too afraid to speak up because they don't want to be the next target. And if someone does speak up, Things will get twisted and turned, and the narcissistic boss will always ensure that they have enough people on their team to shut you and any of your supporters down, make you look bad, and teach everyone that speaking up doesn't get you anywhere. And if you happen to be that brave soul that goes head to head with the narcissist, you end up in a sick game that usually leads to your ruined reputation, burnout, getting fired, or worse. Now, there's very little research on this topic, so my observations here are based on my own coaching practice and counseling people through these situations, as well as through my own lived experience. This is for educational purposes only, and it is not intended to replace professional help. So if you've watched any of my other videos on narcissism, you know that a key piece of advice I give anyone who is dealing with a narcissist, whether it be a parent, a partner, a friend, or a boss, is do not expect them to change. Do not continue in the delusion that the narcissist will sometime or someday change, because this is highly, highly improbable. So if you can get out, just get out. Unless you're seeking a soul-sucking experience, being in a relationship with a narcissist is not worth the damage it will ultimately have on you. However, let's say you are in a situation where you feel like you really can't leave, at least not right now. You will need to learn to preserve and protect yourself from your narcissistic boss. But before I give you these strategies, let me first tell you about some commonly recommended strategies that usually backfire and make things worse when you're dealing with a narcissistic boss. Number one, I've seen a lot of people recommend that you start complimenting your narcissistic boss, stroking their ego and feeding their delusional, grandiose sense of self to get on their good side and act like their narc supply. And I suppose this could work. And if this strategy feels right to you, go ahead and do it. But I don't recommend stepping outside of your own value system to do it, because there is a huge cost to this type of inauthenticity. So if someone is suggesting you deal with the narcissist in ways that feel wrong or unethical or narcissistic to you, don't do it. The other thing is, even if you did try to manipulate the narcissist, I can almost guarantee that they will out-manipulate you, because that's what they do best. That said, they do thrive on looking good. They see themselves as the hero, not the villain. So if you can genuinely emulate or take interest in their positive traits, such as maybe their charisma, or their ability to influence people or communicate well, then feel free to get on their good side. But also understand that this plays into being their narc supply, which is exhausting and a very difficult dynamic to break. Second commonly recommended thing is a technique called the gray rock technique. This method is somewhat controversial, and it can make the situation worse because most people don't have the stamina to implement it consistently. Basically, the gray rock technique involves a concerted effort on your part to not get emotionally entangled with the narcissist. You just basically become like a boring, indifferent, non-reactive gray rock. When using this technique, you would use short responses, be totally boring, closed off, indifferent, and show zero emotion no matter what they say or do. And the idea is that if you continue the gray rock technique long enough, the narcissist will get bored with you and move on to a different target. See, narcissists are addicted to drama and control, and they hate boredom. So if they can't stir you up, they may lose interest. However, what I've found is that using the gray rock technique doesn't work very well in situations where there is an actual power differential, like in an employer-employee relationship. If you are not protected by a good union, you'll probably get fired. And if you are protected, the narcissistic boss will make it their mission to make your life even more of a living hell. So as soon as you withdraw supply, the narcissist will escalate their efforts to push your buttons and to get you to take their bait. Because here's the thing, if you've been feeling that need for them, you can't just cut them off their drug and expect them to move on quietly. They will get angry and target you even more. And another reason why this technique can fail is that it requires perfect consistency over a sustained period of time. One misstep on your part where you give them what they want, and boom, you're worse off than before you started. So there are times when this technique can work, but it more often goes off the rail. So where it can work is when you implement it right off the bat. Let's say you notice your boss is a narcissist right away and you go gray rock from the get-go. They may not take any interest in you and just occasionally target you as they do their regular rounds of attacks. Another way people might tell you to deal with the narcissistic boss is to fly under the radar. And if you can do this, bonus. But if the narcissistic boss has already placed a target on you, there is no way you're going to avoid them. They will keep coming at you. They're like a dog with a bone. Okay, so if these strategies don't work, what hope is there to survive a narcissistic boss? Okay, I will give you some strategies, but again, I want you to remember that my number one line of defense is to get out as soon as you possibly can, and if you can't for whatever...
We have about 15 minutes left in the video here. We've cut it short because I want to bring back Miss Carlene. But you guys already hear the part. Get a good vibes about, a good lesson about a narcissistic person, right? And the behavior and, you know, certain type of things. So, because more of the hear all of it, but the time. But like I said, 5 strategies to deal with a narcissistic boss. So it's on YouTube, people. 5 strategies to deal with a narcissistic boss. So may I get back Miss Carlene in the argument, right, guys? So a lot tired, so she get the point. Sorry, man. I think they might just to, you know. A lot of people say the same thing. So may I listen to you, man. Come on. May I pay attention to you, man. Hey. And you know what I want to hear, Miss. Good evening, Carlene. How you doing?
Good evening. How are you?
Good. At first and foremost, let me ask you a question. What would you say to Marvin, Devon, Tommy, and everybody who left the UIC before? What would you say to them right now?
All right, so here what I'm going to say first and foremost, right? I want to first answer a question that I saw someone ask Mark. Did you play the video?
Yes, man, I just play it. Yeah, I play a part of it. I couldn't play all of it because of time. I play half of it so they get the message fully. Thank you for that video.
Wonderful. So the question that the person was asking was that why did he think that the leader of the UIC was a dangerous man? And I just want to say and respond for Mr. Cameron to say that with the video that you watched, and a combination of a lack of empathy, grandiosity, manipulation, and authoritarian tendencies can make a narcissistic leader a dangerous individual with the potential to cause significant harm to his fellow followers and the organizations that he leads or the society, right? And it is essential for individuals, meaning all of us, and institutions to be aware of such traits in persons and to take the appropriate measures to prevent and mitigate the negative effects of a narcissistic leader. So with that, I close on that part. And I want to also just say, because right now my heart is racing, because everybody who knows me know that I can be recognized as someone who is more like an action-oriented person, and I prefer to avoid the spotlight.
Yeah.
So I'm not really that talkative or seeking attention kind of person. So bear with me until my heart begins to beat at the normal pace.
Drink some water. Drink some water. Drink some water. Take a deep breath a couple times and blow.
I have a very big bottle here. Let me turn off the fan so we don't get any distortion.
Inhale and exhale big. Inhale and exhale big couple times. Yes.
I know. It's not easy for me. It's easier said than done. But to respond to your question, I want to make an apology. And my apology is extended. It's extended to, it's really a sincere apology to all of those persons, whether it's Donovan, the Telwells, Marvin, everyone, Latoya, all of those persons who may feel offended or hurt by any actions or words or any decisions during the course of my duties. I am deeply saddened to know that my actions might have caused any distress or any negative feelings to anyone, especially when it was never an intention to do so. So I hope they will accept, and my line is always open. My number never changes. I've not blocked anyone, so anyone feel free to reach out to me or to open up the line so that we can, begin some level of healing and communications.
That's unfair. How did we get to this, Carlene? How did it? Where we at, Ryan? How did this get to this, Carlene? Because I know last time everybody know you was a ride or die. You put your neck on the cross for the UIC, Mr. Patterson. So how did this happen? What's going on?
Well, let me tell you, Carlos. I didn't uphold my manners. So I must say, ladies and gentlemen, esteemed guests of Mr. Carlos or on the Carlos show, I just want to say good evening and thank you for having me. It's a pleasure being here and for you to take the time out of your busy schedule to listen to what I have to say or to hear my side of the story. It's greatly appreciated.
Thank you.
So to get that out of the way. But let me tell you, Carlos, you're gonna need episode 1, 2, 3, and 4 because it's a whole lot. It's a whole lot of stuff. It's unfortunate that we're here at this time, but I believe it is safe for me. What I did, I made some notes, and I want to give like an overview of basically what happened. And persons can maybe ask questions at the ending, or if they have any concerns or queries they need clarity, they can just feel free to ask a question.
She's taking questions. People, she says she'll be taking questions. So when she understand, when she balance out. So feel free to put your questions there because she is scared to answer questions. Sister, go. The floor is yours. Just take it away.
All right. So I want to begin by saying that I believe that as a General Secretary and past VP of the United Independence Congress, it was my right and my responsibility to inquire about matters that affect the well-being and stability of the movement. And one such matter is the matter of the stipend granted to the president and his wife, and the bank account that was opened in the name of a member, which I believe is crucial for the transparency and accountability of the movement. My intent in asking those questions was solely driven by a desire to gain better understanding and to ensure that all resources were being allocated wisely, and to ensure that when the elections are called, the other two parties basically have nothing on us to use to their advantage. So it was all with intention. It was never meant to show any level of disloyalty, because as I've said, that you can be loyal to a movement or a person, but that does not mean that you're going to be loyal and blind, you know. So I chose to ask the tough questions that a lot of the other NEC members, they knew about it, they saw what was happening. I have had lengthy conversations with other NEC members, and they would tell me about their concerns, and we share concerns and we talk, but nobody has the courage, to stand up and say. So they'll say one thing when they're out of the NEC, but when they're in the NEC, it's a complete, it's like fear, or they're just afraid to speak up. So they'll just go with anything that the president has to say. Right? So I want to also emphasize.
Tell about the stipend. Tell us a little bit more about that stipend there. There's a stipend going on. Tell me about that stipend and the retroactive pay.
All right. For the stipend, I was one of the instrumental person who gave Mr. Patterson and his wife the stipend, because the original NEC at the time and myself, we had different perspective, because they thought that the UIC couldn't afford it, which was true. And they also thought that, while they believed that he and his wife was deserving, they also thought that at this time when the movement was in its infant stage, it wouldn't be prudent to offer a stipend to anyone, irrespective of rank. And I agreed, but I pushed for it because I thought, one, they were deserving, and two, I tried to strike a balance where, seeing as I was the only one who thought they deserved a stipend and should get one, I tried to strike a balance. We've had several meetings, and I tried to strike a balance where I said, okay, then let us give them the stipend. And if it is that when they check the account at the end of the month and there is no money in the account, then they don't get a stipend. But if it is there, they go ahead and take out the amount agreed on. But it was never meant to be in a state where it's retroactive. But recently, I've been noticing that the financials that were presented in the NEC by the treasurer and the president had shown a huge sum in the millions that were owed to the Pattersons. So I queried that by asking, why do we owe the Pattersons millions? Why did the UIC owe the Pattersons millions? And the leader, Mr. Patterson, gave some clarity by stating that it was for the stipend. I knew it wasn't supposed to be retroactive at the time when I asked the question, but however, I remained silent after getting the confirmation because I didn't want to say anything at that time.
So you are saying that.
I was looking at some other issues.
So you are saying that the UIC owe Mr. and Mrs. Patterson millions of dollars in retroactive pay?
Yes, we do. The UIC though, sorry. I forget I'm no longer a member. So pardon me for here, I include myself.
It's all right. It's all right. So, you hear that, people? So wow. So donate so Jaja, you hear that, people?
But let me continue to shed some light on.
Yeah, come on, find out what happened. Go ahead, sister.
Yes. So given the gravity of the issues at hand and the impact that they had on the UIC, losing members and not attracting new ones, and with our donations being at the lowest ever, it was disheartening to have my legitimate queries met with silence and evasion. So being the General Secretary at the time, I also held the highest regard for our principles. And I firmly believe that transparency and accountability are paramount to the success and the trust in any upcoming political party, and that includes the UIC. So we have to show the Jamaican people that we're truly different from the other two political parties, and they must have confidence and trust in their elected leaders to have open and honest dialogue and communication, because without such a dialogue and communication, it would become increasingly difficult for the leaders to actively participate in discussions without fear or favor and to contribute to the betterment of the movement, right? So Joseph Patterson has adopted what appears to me an iron fist, narcissistic and dictatorial approach in leadership, which may achieve short-term results, but risk damaging the long-term success and sustainability of the organization. A more collaborative and inclusive, empathetic leader style would have been more, better for us to be inspired, for us to trust and to engage for the necessary growth and prosperity of the movement. So I want to send a message to the NEC. Please allow me. Right? So it is important so this message is to the NEC members to remember that it is the utmost important to uphold the principles that underpin the movement. You must cease to succumb to fear and hesitancy when it comes to speaking up on matters of significance. And even if it means risking your positions of power, because as leaders, you have been entrusted with the responsibility to drive positive change and to make decisions that serve the greater good. Loyal to the president is undoubtedly crucial, as it fosters unity and facilitates efficient functions of our movement. But it is also vital to remember that blind loyalty, right, when it leads to turning a blind eye to serious issues, including the matters of the UIC finances, undermines the very foundation upon which our movement stands.
So,
Right.
are there? You finished?
No, I'm not. There's a whole lot of things because I want to say something to the diaspora members, and I have a message to the president because I get to understand he's also online.
So I don't know if Mr. Patterson, but I'm sure he's watching. Trust me, somebody gonna send this to him. They're gonna watch it, man. Don't worry yourself. They're gonna watch it. Go ahead.
Right. So to my diaspora members, right?
You have a message for
As we continue-
this message for the people in the diaspora. Go ahead, sister.
For the diaspora, right? And it's some of them are standing up, because I've heard and the message was sent to me and all of that. So I just want to say, to continue your collective journey towards justice and a brighter future for your beloved movement, because I know the UIC means a lot to you. And it means a lot to most of us, actually. The UIC, I want to express really my utmost admiration and gratitude for the unwavering courage that some of you displayed in standing up against injustice and striving to bring about a resolution to the current matter at hand. Right? Your commitment to speaking out against wrongdoing and holding your leader accountable is a testament to the values and principles that you're guided by. And also that your unwavering determination to seek justice and uphold integrity in your movement. Remember now, this movement is not a movement that belongs to Mr. Patterson alone. This is, I keep forgetting that I'm not a member. This is your movement. So I can't even say our movement. This is your movement, right? And it serves as an inspiration to all of us. Right? So I just want to say thank you so much for those who stand up. And I know there's a lot of you who are looking on, but out of fear, you chose not to speak up. But, be bold and have courage. And don't be afraid to stand up when you see wrongdoing happening. Don't be afraid to stand up and speak out.
I see. I was reading something in the last video I did. There's some confusion, some stuff that is not clear about some bank account in Canada. Could you shed some light, as you are the general secretary? That means that you're very close to the president. Tell me something about the bank account that is in Canada that is causing some conflict.
All right. Well, in relation to the bank account, as a matter of fact, I think it's important first to say that when I was elected as general secretary, I thought that, this is now a real, not that all the positions are serious, but I know the general secretary plays a very important role because the general secretary is responsible for the overall operations. Therefore, she would be, or he would be the first person if the media personnel or any member of the public need any clarity on any issues or matters relating to the movement. The general secretary would be the first person that they would reach out to. So I try to make it my point of duty to very understanding or get a full understanding of the complete operation, what is required of me. I want to make sure that I'm in all the meetings, the diaspora meetings, the finance meetings, I'm in all the groups, ensure that our structure is in order to make sure that we're fully compliant with all the regulations that is required of us by the ECJ, and all of those things that combines. But I realized that after trying to get into the finance meeting and the diaspora meeting for quite some time, I was locked out. The president told me that I didn't needed to be there.
Why? What did you do?
Well, I tried desperately to get some reason as to why, but he told me that I could only get the minutes of the meeting. So I've been trying to get the minutes of the meetings for the committees that I'm not allowed in.
As a general secretary?
As a general secretary. So what I did in order to get the minutes for the diaspora meeting, I've asked Naika first to send me the minutes from the finance meeting. I think I've asked Christine as well about some information. That's the fundraising director. About to give me updates on what is taking place in the finance meetings. I didn't get any information from them, couldn't get any minutes of the meetings either. So I reached out to a diaspora member who was in charge of taking the minutes, and I asked for all minutes for me to be included when they're sending off the minutes to the NEC. Please stay included, because I don't understand how I was a part of the NEC, but yet I was left off when they're sending out these minutes. So I reminded them to add me to the list and let me have those minutes for the diaspora meetings in Canada. Sometime after, I received an email coming from the Canada diaspora group, and it was the minutes of the meeting. So they sent me one. It was one at first, and that one I thanked them for sending me. And I also thank them for the hard work that they've been doing and encourage them, in their process. And I also, what I did know after I took a look at the minutes, and then what really stood out the most was the fact that a personal account was opened by a member in Canada. And I saw also that the president was the chairman for that meeting, and also that in those same minutes that he was the person, he and the treasurer authorized the opening of that account. So I immediately responded to that same email by asking several questions in relation to that. And let me see if I can find it. I think I sent those to you.
Wow. Continue about that bank account. Continue about that bank account in Canada.
Right. So basically, ask the questions in relation to the minutes by who authorized the opening of the bank account.
Hold on, Carlene. Mr. Patterson, because I've been watching Mr. Patterson. I did a video on it too, where Mr. Patterson responded, and him said he did not authorize no opening of no extra bank account at Canada. And
right, because I was in the. Go ahead.
I may see some other documents that is telling me otherwise. So, give me some clarity on it now, Carlene. I could know what's going on.
All right. So what had happened is that when I saw that section in the minutes, I immediately responded to the minutes by asking the questions: who authorized the opening of the account? Even though I saw that it was him, I asked who authorized it, if they understood the implications of opening another account in a member's name in a personal capacity. Because I remember having these conversations before, where the elections are coming up, and I'm saying we have to ensure that we clear some of these accusations about the bank accounts in Mr. Patterson's name and his wife's name. And also, I thought that his image we need to employ skilled professional PR personnel to handle, the matters relating to the UIC brand and to fix the image of the president and some other stuff that I wanted to do in the short term due to the upcoming elections. So with me asking the questions, it wasn't any stranger to Mr. Patterson, because he understood where my mindset was coming from when I was asking these questions, to say we can't open another bank account. No, we're already getting a backlash from the ones we have with his personal name and so on. So, we should not have been doing something like that. But that same minutes that was sent, it wasn't sent to me alone, it was sent to both Mr. Patterson, he was copied on it, and also the other NEC members were copied on it. But nobody asked any question, nobody saw it prudent to even get some clarity on why, and nobody even responded to my questions that were being asked. So it went on to the point where I continued asking the questions in the capacity as a general secretary and within the confinements of the NEC, which is that the group that I've been speaking in for quite some time. Mm-hmm. And I've never been in a situation where I was told I can't speak in that group. And I found that I was told not to speak in the group anymore. I was also told that even though it's not documented, it's just some protocol, some understanding that is just out there to say general secretaries are not supposed to speak unless they get permission from the president or the chairman in order to speak. And I wasn't having it because I wasn't going to let anyone censor me. So I continue asking the questions in the confinements of the NEC group.
So hold on. So Carlene, there was nobody else, nobody in the NEC didn't have any problem with that? What was going on with the account in Canada? The ledger account?
Well, the NEC body on a whole, they're not interested in certain things. It's just basically what Mr. Patterson wants, Mr. Patterson gets. That's what they're there for, nothing else. To sit and look pretty in their positions and nobody care about anything. So if Mr. Patterson say jump, they say jump high, and that is just what it's all about. But yet they find the time to call to complain about some of the issues and the concerns that they have, both with the leader as well as with what's going on, his leadership style and so on. But no one dares to say anything within that group.
So from the moment you start questioning about these, question about these things, did Mr. Patterson hold you and sit you down and have a heart-to-heart talk about it to kind of soothe your concern?
Not at all. They more tried to censor me, and when I continue asking the questions, he went on to call it to the attention of the, I sent you all the evidence there in your phone. I know it's kind of jumbled and not in order, but he posted a message in the executive group to say that he's putting it over into the hands of the chairman. They can't afford to have me asking those questions in the group. And the chairman also reached out to say that I should no longer speak in the group and that they will address it. Meaning, I got the understanding that they would have addressed it at the NEC upcoming, because that's what he had said. They would address it in the NEC meeting. And there were also matters relating to some questions that were posted by persons in the public space under the UIC Liberty TV live in the comments group. And those issues came up as well. And Mr. Patterson thought that I was bringing disrepute to the Canadian group by asking them to respond to my questions, and that it had to be dealt with in the NEC. So I thought then when the NEC would, when they called the NEC on June 25th, they would have answered the questions then, but that wasn't the case.
So, Carlene, now that the same knife was stick goat, Jamaica go, same knife stick. No, and you're saying that you try to speak up. And not one time did Mr. Patterson put it to the corner and say, Carlene, what is the concern? Let's iron this out and work this out. The brother threw it to the side. Was it the same? Was it the same end? Was it the same end that met all the other candidates that leave? The Awad, the Marvin, the Babatunde, the Devon, this brother Moore? Is that the same thing?
Yes, that's exactly the same style of leadership.
How many people gone under that style and the UIC have lost? If you can check, you can just give me a rough estimate. I'm not going to quote you.
Well, we had about 190 something candidates. They're no longer there. And we had the NEC, the original NEC body, they're no longer there. And even some of the recently recruited members, we have lost several of them as well. And we lost them not because of any fault of theirs, because we have some really great candidates like Dorothy Elliott, Sonia Kildare, Mr. Babatunde. These are persons that emerge from the very fabric of society. These are persons that, understand the struggles and all of that that's happening in their community. And these are the persons Mr. Patterson believes are not of quality. I'm not sure who is it he's looking for, maybe bank managers and CEOs and top executives, but he's not interested in these kinds of candidates. So as soon as they start speaking up or just try to voice their concerns, they're booted from the organization. So we've lost quite a significant amount of persons.
Wow. So continue, sister. Tell me some stuff that we need to know. Because the people are waiting, because they really want to know why, Carlene, because we see you work hard. We see you work hard. We see you work very hard. And everybody could not tell the same lie, for one man.
Well, I know a lot of persons have seen my work, and as I said before, I'm not somebody who really likes the limelight, but I build up the courage to go out there to do the work of the UIC when I have to, even though my whole nervousness, is killing me, but I build up the courage to go out there and do it. And not only that, if I wasn't doing a good job, would I be afforded the position of Shadow Minister for Entertainment, Sports and Culture? I was campaign director, I was PR director, I was recruiting director, I was also MP candidate and the general secretary. And if it is that I wasn't doing a good job, I wasn't diligent about my work and have the determination and the drive, I would not have been given all these or suggested to work in all these areas by the leader himself. So all of this talk about me not being able to function in my capacity, or I don't know how to do my job, is just a lot of crap, actually. And it's just a smoke screen for Mr. Patterson to just use to his advantage, Well, let me tell you about what happened at the NEC meeting.
Go ahead, sister. Go ahead. Sorry.
So at the meeting on Sunday, it was a Sunday. We normally have our NEC meeting. This was June 25th. I was basically tricked into believing that I was attending a regular NEC meeting. However, at the meeting transformed into a meeting of spectacles and interrogation, and was more like a court hearing or like a DRC kind of setting. So I paused the meeting to ask, is this a DRC? I asked it, was it a hearing, a DRC, or was it just a normal NEC? And I got the assurance from the chairman that it was a regular NEC and nothing to worry about. But then, they continue with their questions. All the NEC members questioned me. They talked about my tone. They weren't interested in the questions that I was asking. They were more interested in, I don't understand how you read a tone from a message. And I keep telling them that they have to be careful how they read messages and, formulate the tone in their mind. So if they needed clarity, they can reach out and ask me for clarity, so be the case. But from my messages in the group, the NEC group, demanding answers to those questions about the bank account and so on, they thought that my tone was an issue. And so they went on to asking a whole lot of questions. And when it was really my time to respond, I tried to respond to each and every one of them. But each time I tried to do that, I was cut off by the president. He's always calling for point of order. I could not get a word in. And when I tried to, continue the conversation to get a word in, then the chairman would come in and cut me off. So it was really more of a charade than anything. They continued to talk about my behavior, and they could not answer any questions that I'm asking. What is it about my behavior? What is it about my tone? What is it about my conduct? And they just continue using the words, but nothing of substance to give me any clarity as to what specifically about my tone or my conduct that brought them to be having a DRC in an NEC meeting. So it went on to the stage where They told me to get off the line, get off the meeting, that they were going to deliberate. I mean, I was just so frustrated and more confused, So I came out, and it was really late. It was about after 10, somewhere thereof. So I turned off my equipment and went to bed. At about an hour or so after, I got a call from Meiko to say I should rejoin the meeting. I told her I couldn't because I already turned off my system and was already in bed. So I said, please send me whatever you guys have decided on, or what is it you want me to know, in an email. So I pick it up in the morning. The following morning, I woke up to my phone ringing off the hook. Person's telling me, when I wasn't going to answer because it was very early. So I decided, let me get up and answer, because it just continuously rang. Many different persons were calling to say that, to ask questions as to why I was removed from the group. I told them, no, I'm still in the group. So they said, no, they removed you. So I decided to check, and then I noticed I was removed from all the groups, from even the executive group, and it was done by Naiko Williams. I tried to call her, didn't get a response, so I decided to go on my laptop to send an email. I realized that I was also locked out of my GenSec email that they had given me. So I used my personal email to send an email to the NEC to say, these are what was happening, locked out of all the group, removed from all the groups, wasn't able to access my GenSec email. What is the situation? And then I proceeded to ask in that same email if it had anything to do with the questions that I've been asking about the bank accounts and so on. And about 3 hours later, I received a letter from Mr. Wright to say that I was terminated from all my positions. They have stripped me of my membership. I can't get over that one. Even my membership, they took away from me.
Even just be the member of UIC and the outside that gone to?
No, I'm no longer a member. I'm no longer a candidate. I am nothing. I was just thrown out like some garbage. No gratitude for the work that I've done, for all the monies that I've invested. I've closed down my business for weeks. When I went on the All Sunday All Island tour, I closed my business for 4 weeks to plan that event and to participate. 4 weeks. And even when I was elected as General Secretary and Vice President, I've been out of my business so much because I love the movement, I love the policies. I just wanted to do everything I possibly can. I've spent over 500,000 Jamaican dollars of my own money into this organization, and Mr. Patterson thought that it was fit to kick me out, strip me naked of all my 6 titles, including my membership, and kick me out for asking questions.
Hold on there. Let me ask a question. How many hats? How many hats were you wearing, Carlene? How many hats were you wearing? Because since Mr. Patterson make it look like you're this stupid and you're fool and you're born back a bus.
No.
How many titles were you wearing, ma'am?
I was shadow minister for entertainment, sports and culture. I was campaign manager. I was PR director. I was recruiting director. I was member of parliament candidate, and I was general secretary.
Jaja.
And I'm the only one in the organization, Mr. Carlos, who wore 6 hats.
6 hats.
The only one. The only one in the organization who give the UIC 20 or 18 or even for an entire day I'm sitting before the computer doing my work, or I'm going on the road to do something. I'm the only one who puts in the time, and Mr. Patterson knew this. Mr. Patterson knew that he can depend on me to take up his phone and call me, Carlene, can you do this? They call me, Carlene, there's something going on in Africa, can you get there? And I jump in my blue uniform and I'm out there and I'm doing the work. They know this.
Jaja. Well, never question some questions to ask. We're talking about donation, because one of the things that kind of tick me off and other people off is we don't see the donation where it is going, Carlene. We don't see the people on the street. And since you were right there with the president, you can tell us why we never see no people on the street? Why weren't there nobody on the street, Carlene? No candidates. How we look? What stopped the candidates from being on the streets?
Well, as I said before, the candidates, according to Mr. Patterson, they're not up to his standard. I guess he needed persons, these candidates should be in his capacity in terms of capabilities intellectually. You know, he doesn't, even though he speaks about this grassroots movement and we need grassroots people, Mr. Patterson says one thing and he means something completely different. You know, so you're not going to see any candidates out there. I'm going to be honest to tell you that there are times when, you know, the candidates having to take care of their own personal life, sometimes it's kind of difficult to kind of get everybody in one space.
Let me ask.
You know,
Go ahead.
sometimes
Go ahead.
yeah,
Finish.
sometimes it's like, but overall, if it is that, if Mr. Patterson was interested in getting the candidates and mobilizing these candidates, we would have done so a long time ago, because they were ready. Because if you check, if no, sorry, you weren't in the group, so you wouldn't know. But those persons who were in the candidates group would know that you have candidates like Dorrit Elliott and Sonia Kildare, who have been, you know, chastised by Mr. Patterson for asking questions as to, you know, their questions are simple. What are you doing with us, Mr. Patterson? We're sitting here in the group now for 6 months. What are your plans? What are you doing with us? When are we going to go there? When are you going to come to our community? Simple questions like that. And you would get really angry and upset, and then you would want them out of the group. You know, those kind of things, or even to take away their candidacy. And that's really disheartening.
So
You know, it's really sad.
So my problem is, like I said, we over here look when people send money to Jamaica. People are sending money and look for candidates on the road. When we see people protest in Jamaica, demonstrate, we don't see the UIC out there strong with these people. And we wonder why. So we never know some Mr. Patterson stopping these people because the candidates when have look fool are they not so educated or intelligent and versed and speaking like him. Is that what's going on here? Is he looking down on the candidates?
That's what I've been saying to Mr. Patterson all along, that if it is that you're not going to use the candidate, please let them know that you're not going to use it. Because what I didn't like was the fact that you have them sitting there, going in their community, doing the groundwork, telling people that they're going to be representing the UIC in their area as council candidates, spending their little money that they have. Because these are not rich people. These are ordinary people like you and me who are struggling to make ends meet every day. And you have them sitting there and doing all this work and spending their monies, knowing quite well that he has no intention of using any one of the candidates. You know, it's really sad. Yeah, that's really bad. And not only that, I managed to get him to look at 2 specific candidates, Mr. Sheldon McGann and Sonia Kildare. And you know, I talked about those 2 candidates, and we were in the NEC meeting at the time, and we managed to we cast a vote to you know, approve those 2 candidates. But Mr. Patterson had a thing for Sonia Kildare. He don't like a bone in that woman for whatever reasons. Only him alone can tell you. But we voted for Sonia Kildare and Mr. Sheldon McGann. And Mr. Patterson threw a tantrum to say that he didn't want Miss Kildare as a candidate, and he wasn't pleased with how the NEC voted. And he ordered us back into the NEC, and he managed to get her to vote her off again, even though the NEC voted.
So Mr. Patterson, the president influenced the NEC is supposed to be an independent body, and he influenced the vote. That's what you're saying?
Definitely. What Mr. Patterson gets, what Mr. Patterson wants. And if he doesn't get his way, he's begin talking about how, you know, he thought we had his back and we're not loyal. So he ended up getting his way at all times. So it's not really, there's really no NEC body. It's just Mr. Patterson. No, there's no NEC body.
Jaja people. Jaja.
The NEC doesn't have a backbone.
While me on the topic of donation, there's one specific friend of mine, and she's always on my life, Debbie Jervis. Debbie Jervis has sent some money out there for some candidates, about 5 candidates for flyers and all that. And Debbie Jervis, the candidates didn't. These are the things that piss me off, you know. Sorry, Miss Carlene, because it's like when you have, a good winning horse, but the jockey on the horse, I pull back the horse and I slope in own race. Why would Miss Debbie send money to sponsor candidate flyers and stuff, and they never get to the candidate? Them? Can you shed some light on that, sister? What happened to Miss Debbie money?
Debbie Jarvis, I am very much familiar with Debbie Jarvis. She and I have had numerous communications, and some of the conversations we had was for her to sponsor some of the candidates with flyers, because not even get flyers from Mr. Patterson. The candidates does not get anything overall. Period.
Hold on. Before you go, Miss Debbie, there. Hold on there. You just make a point. Because these are stuff that may have, and so the donation that go the candidates and don't get the donation, right? The donation money, where it go to?
I don't know. I think Mr. Patterson is the right person to ask, because it would seem to me as if he has some black hole that he throws the money in when he gets them. I don't know. Money disappears. I can't speak to that because I'm not even the one under the finances. But what is obvious, though, is that there's a lot of concern about the donations. And that's one of the reasons why I picked up on it, to kind of say that, there are questions that are being asked. We need to address these things. And the only way I see where we can address them is to ensure that we have a UIC designated bank account where we can have all the UIC funds, so we can have some level of transparency.
So hold on.
If it is that person's
So Debbie money may have fallen in the black hole too?
Well, let me tell you about David Jarvis' money. As I said, I was really instrumental in that, in having her fully support 5 candidates by covering the cost of some flyers. And I contracted a graphics person. Mr. Jarvis sent the 45. Well, it's equivalent to 45,000 Jamaican dollars. I don't remember how much it was in US dollars, but we followed the process by sending those monies through the channel, the correct channel, which is to send it to the UIC account, and then they will in turn pay the graphics artist for his work. So the graphics guy created the design, he created the flyer, he printed the flyers, and he was there. He submitted the invoice. I shared a copy of the invoice with the treasurer and also with Miss Debbie Jarvis. And the gentleman has been waiting up until today, he has not received that $45,000 for his hard work that he has done so far. So I cannot speak on where the money went, but I know it was paid over. And not only Debbie Jarvis's money, there's also monies that persons paid. There was this gentleman who paid, I can't recall his name right now, but he paid for 10 T-shirts. And he paid $300,000. And Miss Dorrit Elliott was supposed to be one of the recipients of those
$300,000.
$300. Sorry. And Miss Elliott did not receive those T-shirts. She reached out to me. I reached out to Mrs. Patterson to follow up on it. And up until today, she has not received those T-shirts. And I'm not sure if anyone else are given any T-shirts from those 10 that were paid for by this donor. So it's quite a lot. There are monies that were paid over by the diaspora members to go towards certain specific matters relating to the UIC, like the legal funds for the president. And also there was the advertising committee who raised the donations for themselves in the amount of some I think it was about 2. Those monies and everything has been depleted based on financials that.
Hold on. I didn't hear you. You was breaking up right there. So repeat that part there again, please.
Okay, so I was mentioning about the advertising committee who created some funds. They went about and got their advertising committee, did some fundraising and got some funds, and those funds were supposed to be used for advertising purposes. Do you know, whether for billboards or banners or flyers? The matter of the legal fees. Those monies were donated by donors, specifically for legal fees for Mr. Patterson. And all of those funds, the monies from the banquet, we earned about 900 and something thousand Jamaican dollars from the banquet, and all of those monies have been depleted. And I myself is a little bit confused as to where did all those funds go?
And you are the general secretary and you don't know that? You're right next to the president and you don't know?
I am not. So sorry, but I'm not privy to I wasn't a part of I wasn't allowed in the financial meetings. So these are some of the important questions that I've been asking and not getting any response to, So it's really sad to know that, as the general secretary, I wasn't able to acquire these very important details, or, I would have been in a better position to respond to them right now.
Jaja. So that's it. That we have some problem with some black hole around the UIC. We need to figure that out. So,
I didn't mean to sound rude, but just being frank.
No. We want to know where the money there, because People, when me did that foreign, I'm come up my page. No, when me did that with USC, I'm gonna come up my page and I beg for donation. When me I beg for donation, me I beg for donation for see the blue shirt out there with the green and the orange shirt them same way. They don't more than we. And the more, I'm telling you, so UIC that get more money if the people, the donors, them see the UIC them a work for it. But then the see the people out there do nothing. And now they even give money for buy, for support, sponsor 5 candidates. And you want to tell me, say, the 5 candidates will get the flyers to go push on the agenda. Then the Mr. Patterson and hold back the whole party, you see people. It's like a man of a winning horse. And he sit down on the horse as a jockey, pull it back. Because number one, why you know give the money coming to give the candidate them flyers? So go blow up. Go on the road the flyers. Oh, come in and get that people. Oh, come in and get that. All the candidates will get nothing, people. All the money now send for donate. Me know now send if you go in no bank account, sit down there, nobody know it there. Let me ask you a question. One question may I ask you again. So how the candidates get money to campaign? How you guys get money to go around, knock door, flyers?
Every candidate funds their campaign or whatever is it they're doing in their community, whether it be cake sale, whether it be just doing canvassing, whatever it is, they have to fund it. Find their own fare, their own taxi fare, their own flyers, they have to find their own materials. They have received nothing.
So no money out of the donation, none of them.
I am also a candidate, and as I said, remember the figure I quoted, I spent over $500,000, and this include contracting the services of a town crier, printing flyers, building banners, pull-up banners, and all of those things. All of my materials and everything that I've done so far are out of pocket. I've received nothing from the movement.
What are the expenses the UIC might have now? Them have an office building somewhere? Somebody.
Well, our office is located. Our head office is located on the premises.
What premises?
The residence of the Patterson.
What premises?
Yes, that's where the head office.
At their home?
Yes, at their home, their residence. So that is where our head office is located. And if my memory serves me correct, I believe that there is no rental being charged for the premises, but I think the UIC covers the utilities. The cost for utilities.
So UIC pay for how much utilities them using? They might use whatever gas and electric and what else am I using there?
You see, this is the issue why I'm pushing so much for us to have a UIC designated bank account, because there is no transparency. So you'll find that the treasurer or the president present the financials in the NEC to say, okay, so this is what came into the account, 1.5 million, this is what we spent, 1.9 million, the UIC is in the deficit, 400 and something thousand. There is no detail of anything to say, okay, this is what came in. It came in from this account, and that's what I've been trying to find out too. How many persons are out there with personal accounts that are holding funds for the UIC? Those are some of the questions that I need answers to, and I wasn't able to get them, because then if it is that there are, say, 5 members holding funds for the UIC, and then we have the PC Bank, and then we have the Scotia, and then we have the others, and then the PayPal, and there's no detail of anything for you to really sit down and look at it to say, get a better understanding of where the donations are going. There's nothing. Hence the push to seize our donations until the UIC open a UIC designated account, one that we can do electronic banking in and everything that we do in this modern time. Not the PC bank that, yes, it's a UIC account, but you have to walk into the bank to actually make a donation. Not everybody will have the time for that. So it's important that this is done. And I've been pushing for so long. And I mean, Chase Neal, I saw where they came on this live yesterday and talking this whole lot of crap and showing all this outdated messages, nothing to show off anything that recently happened. That's what we want to hear about. What have you done recently? Since Port Mario Branch has offered you an account, and Maypen also says to come in, what have you done recently? But they just keep coming with all this hot air coming out of their mouth. It's just talk after talk after talk, nothing substantial. And it's just unfortunate that they have a few people still believe in all this crap that they're putting to the people, and it's time to come clean. It's time that the leader come clean and tell the people the truth. Give us some transparency. Own up to what you have done wrong. Own up to your own conduct and come out and speak to the people. Bring back the people together. Unite the members, because we're all divided and we're all over the place. A lot of us, as you mentioned earlier, Mr. Carlos, are hurting, have been dealt with in such a inhumane way. No empathy for anything or for anyone. Mr. Patterson is all about self, all about money. And if you notice the recent live that he also did and talk about how the UIC means nothing. I don't know. I told you to watch that video, Carlos, where he wants to merge with the J.
I watched it.
The JP. You watched it, where he wants to merge with this party. And the only reason why Mr. Patterson wants to merge with that party is because he understands that when this matter reaches to the court, and we use the Constitution to show that when he resigned on March 6, 2022, Mr. Patterson is not the legitimate president.
What you saying?
What do you think?
Where's the hold on, Carlene? What you say, Carlene? What make him not a legitimate president?
Because when Mr. Patterson resigned on March 6, 2022, the NEC, the original NEC body, accepted his resignation. And the fact that they accepted his resignation, he is no longer the president. He tried to rescind the resignation the following day, and they did not accept. So he wasn't able to rescind his resignation. So what he did, he created a new NEC, got a vote of confidence, and then he went on to call an emergency AMC and voted himself back into power. Mr. Patterson is not the legitimate president, and the Constitution can speak to this.
Wow.
And the NEC members, the original NEC members can speak to this. I'm not even an NEC member anymore. Mr. Winston Wright is not a member anymore. Janet Chokanowski is not a member anymore, because we all resigned with Mr. Patterson. We all resigned with Mr. Patterson. Not that we resigned with him, but after we realized that his resignation wouldn't be rescinded, we resigned.
So why were you still there, Carlene?
Members. Huh?
So why were you still there then after this? Why were you still there? Tell me. What were you expecting out of it?
Because the members of the UIC fails to hold him accountable to these things. They failed. The members failed. Remember, this party is not Mr. Patterson's party, you know.
Hold on, because the last time you hear Mr. Patterson say everybody must go build them own party because he build this and him and his wife got knock door and a theme party.
He's just speaking from a narcissistic standpoint. Mr. Patterson doesn't understand self, and he doesn't know any better. You just have to understand that. You won't get anything better out of him. This is him. He's showing you who he is. He's nothing but a dictator, and you will get anything different. It doesn't even matter if you try to speak with him or to show him where he's going wrong. He will not listen. Mr. Patterson will not listen. But the members, I must say that the members failed to uphold the Constitution of the UIC. So it's for us to follow what we preach. We said this is how we are. We are different. We should look different. We should act different. We should speak different. We should dress different, and we should walk different. But it can't be that you're pointing the finger at other leaders, but you can't point your finger at your own leader in your own party. That don't make any sense at all.
That's what we said.
So the members must unite and come together and hold the president accountable for his actions.
Guys, throw any question you want me to ask Ms. Ramirez in the comment section, because she says she's willing to answer any question. You can see she get the apology out of the way. So, hey, what do you want to do or I want to do? She already threw it out there already. So,
yes, everyone. I'm sorry. Again, I must apologize if I've hurt anyone along the way in the line of my duty. I have no problem apologizing and accepting when I'm wrong.
So, let me ask you a question. Let me ask you a tough question. I think, well, not really tough, but what make you do it, Carlene? Why you did it? And I mean, why you do it?
Why I do what? Be specific.
Well, why you stuck with Mr. Patterson when everybody leave, and why you just realizing? Why you just coming to your senses? Why?
Well, let me tell you about me, because I can only speak for myself.
Yes, ma'am.
I am not somebody who follow. I'm not a follower. If it is that I don't, you might have that, special trait where you meet somebody for the first time and right away you can say, so that man, they know a good man, or, so that's a narcissist, or, that's a dictator. Some people have that gift.
That's right.
Some persons take a little time to sum up, and especially when you have a charismatic president like the one that we have now, who is skilled at speaking. He's so skilled that if you're not careful and hold your mindset, that man will twist you into believing anything. Because notice, when he speaks, he has no evidence of anything, He just come and say, Carlene has to go because she's this, that, and everybody follow. Most people follow. That's how skilled he is, and you have to be careful. For somebody like that, you have to ensure that he brings forth evidence to back up his argument, because he's no different than a con man or one of those persons, as I told you in one of my messages. You get one of those calls to say, hey, you won $1 million. Those people, those scammers, they said, oh, you won $1 million. And the next thing you know, you're sending money to get that $1 million, even though you didn't buy a ticket. Mr. Patterson is that great. So, yes, I might have missed it at the first instance, but then when I start realizing certain things, and as I said, at one point his mask shifted for a while and I saw him for who he is, and immediately I realized that all these other persons were really speaking the truth about this character. So even when I was there defending him that, oh no, he's not a narcissist. The man is a narcissist straight. There's no two way about it. His action speaks. This is not something I'm making up. This is why I asked you to play the video in the beginning so that person can really get a good understanding of who the narcissist is and what they're capable of. They're very good and eloquent with their speech and very charming. They will trick you. They will trick you. Yes.
Wow.
So yes, I saw late, but even though I saw late, and I said before, I'm not a follower. I'm someone who likes to find things out for myself. And then take my actions accordingly.
Well, is there anything you want to tell us, Carlene? Just keep talking. I don't know nothing, I don't know. Just tell us what we need to know, because of transparency we are dealing right now.
Well, let me tell you, we're having a meeting on Sunday. There are several members who decide to step up. We're having a meeting on Sunday. I'm not a member, so I'm just, help with, notifying persons about this and putting out information as much as I can so persons can get a better understanding of who they're dealing with, and to understand that we will not move forward as a movement if we're going to continue with this man that we claim to be our leader at the head. We're not going to go anywhere. We have to realize it and accept him for who he is. And even though we appreciate him starting this movement, it comes a time now when he has to step down and allow someone else to step in that position and to lead and steer us in the right direction, because we have lost too much people already. We have too much issues out there, and he has not made any attempt or any effort whatsoever to bring us back together and to sit down and do a one-on-one, as you say, and find out what the concerns are, what are the issues, and deal with them and fix them and heal the parts and bring us back together. It's more about the divide, and he's pushing us further and further apart, setting us up against one another, which is bad, because I had a good relationship with the NEC, and now, it's just a lot of divide, a lot of hate. I received a message from Winston recently, and it's complete hate. I posted it in the group. It's pure hate. And when did we reach that stage? And for a president to see a message like that coming out from a chairman, and he accept it as is, you don't need me to say anything else. You don't need me to say anything else. Mr. Patterson is not the right leader. He has to accept this, and we want him to step down. So we have a 3-phase plan. And the first phase is that what is going on now, the campaign for the seize all donations to the UIC until they establish a designated UIC account. We'll be discussing that in details at the meeting. Our second phase is his resignation. We're going to be asking him for his resignation and asking him to step down so we can have a proper transition of power. And if he doesn't, well, in the event that he does not step down gracefully, we're going to have to reach out to the court. We're going to have it dealt with on a legal forum. And if that's the direction we want to take, then fine, that's where we're going. And our phase 3 is the appointment of a temporary president and a temporary NEC body. So it's not only Mr. President that we're asking to step down. We're asking the NEC body based on their conduct and for the things that they've allowed to happen and take place under their watch as the body.
No accountability. No accountability.
Yeah, no accountability, and for what they have supported, we're asking them to step down as well. And we have a lot of great leaders within this movement. They might be quiet, but I assure you, we have people that we can find within our midst. And if we cannot find leaders within our midst, we will definitely, if we can't find them internally, we will definitely be looking externally to replace these leaders. And what we also do in our phase 3 is to calling back all our candidates, all of them that are out there, the 198 plus the 50 something that Mr. Patterson is not going to be using now. We're going to call all of them because I think we have enough that can contest the local government election. That's where we're heading. We're not going to walk before we can creep. We're going to creep before we can walk. We don't have enough MP candidates, as Mr. Patterson wants to go with the eloquent and the elites. So he wants to push forward.
You know what? Jesus. That's
we are going for the grassroots candidates. That's what we're going for. The grassroots candidates. These people understand what it is on the ground in their communities. Most of them can take home the seat for us, and they're the ones that we're going to be focusing on. So we're going to build the UIC better and stronger than before. So we're asking everyone, the link will be shared, and I'm going to share it with you as soon as I have the Zoom link, and we're asking everyone to join so we can share and group together, brainstorm, and to figure this thing out. Because if the president is not going to do it, we have to heal the movement on our own. We have to take these steps on our own because the president has failed.
I agree with you. I agree with you, former Gen Secretary. I agree with you. Coming from your mouth, I agree with you. Because, so what you're saying now, all is not lost with the energy and the love for your country and the want to change, because
the UIC, we have no issue with the UIC. The UIC is great. The policies are great, even though I can tell you the president has no clue on how to implement some of these policies. No clue whatsoever. But don't worry, we'll figure it out. We'll figure it out when we have a new leader. We'll figure it out. But for now, the UIC is the best option right now. We're not bringing on the movement in any way, shape, or form. All we're saying is that the leader is not the right fit at this moment. We can put him somewhere in the organization to work, but definitely not in financing and definitely not to lead, because we can't afford to have him handle the money. We don't know what he does with money. So we're not going to let him handle any funds.
There's a black hole, there's some black hole, there's a black hole, there's
somewhere to put him. Well, we need to tell us where that black hole is so we can go and retrieve some of those money and spend it where it is supposed to be spent.
People here, all the money not donate. The candidate now get it. People that me used to qualify. See, Debbie Jervis here. Debbie Jervis, I'm a friend enough people. Them people that support the UIC because I'm me enough people. The woman that send her money out, they give 5 candidates enough people. And then they get nothing and then they know the money there enough. Sure.
Yes, the treasurer and the president need to return David Jarvis's money because no one has received those files.
David money need to return back. Return David money back.
Must be returned. Yes.
Jaja, the woman send the money out to the family. Enough people me have sent money to me have an expert named Michael, you know. Michael, me do my call the last name and the first name Michael, you know. From a page, you know, a big donor to the UIC, you know. And that's Jaja. The woman send money for buy flyers. We give the candidate, and Mr. Patterson, I build this movement, and you want, you say we must donate, and we are help donate to give.
Imagine how much other diaspora members might have donated to candidates, believing that the candidates have received these donations in good faith. And they have not done so.
Carlene, when we are foreign and me about for donations, me not think in my head say Carlene, who not gonna take out $1 out of the pocket for buy flyers. That's not why me beg donation for UIC. Me didn't beg donation for the UIC for the candidates of going in them pocket people. People didn't know say our Johns were dead gone. He used to sell masks and sanitizer. He was a candidate. Howard Johns used to sell masks and sanitizer. If I buy flyers out of that people. Howard Johnson tell me say I pay phone bill, pay people when go out and campaign with him and knock door and hand out flyers. He must top up their phone, he must buy them lunch, he must pay the taxi fare, all time only look at mask and sanitizer. He dead gone, God rest him in peace. And the money when we couples are beg, where the money there? Them thing that piss me off, you know, people. People them think that piss me off because the real, see Debbie there?
I know.
I see
What
Debbie
excuse
sponsor
Mr.
5 of
Patterson
them.
continues.
How you gonna
What
sponsor
he's going
5?
to
How somebody
say.
gonna sponsor 5 member of your candidate in your team and you know give them? People may say, me always ask, you know, me do video out there and say Mr. Patterson like you want to win no election. You like to say just want this pan the resume if you go back to Canada for me to know what I do. I call a command where I ride a horse people. I'm just winning stallion people. I swear to God. People, if you want to see this still a kick up storm and not drop off and people, PNP and Labour, I couldn't see the tail light. Me say PNP and Labour, I couldn't see the tail light if the UIC was kicking up a momentum because Jamaica people need the change. Kuya. I don't think that pissed me off, you know. It's like how Mark Renaissance mad and get angry. People are so you don't know because sometimes remember some stuff they get angry. I just threw me a punch wall. I'm gonna slap doors. But we get angry people. Jaja, Carlene, me I tell you. Jaja, tell me some more about the going forward.
And one of the excuses that he will use is to say that the Electoral Commission of Jamaica, they have received our financial statements and they see the EOJ is not looking at anything. If the EOJ was to do an in-depth investigations into the UIC, it would have been something different, you know. But not to worry, all is not lost. We're definitely going to see if we can get an internal audit done on the finances. So there's a lot of things that we have to get done to ensure that we provide the members and the donors, you know, with some form of transparency as to where their monies have gone.
So explain this to me. Why Mr. Patterson always talk about my party, build your own party and this and that? Explain to me. What's all about? When you say our party and this?
Because he's just a leader who believes that you must do as he says and not as he does, as he do, you know. So he doesn't practice what he preaches.
So when you register a party, is the party for the people?
Well, the understanding in what is in the Constitution is that this is the People's Party. You know, it was created for the people and by the people. So I don't understand how it becomes Joseph Patterson's party.
Look here. So so you say you still a fight to keep the UIC going?
Yes, I want to move on with my life. I want to move on with my life, but for now, I have to, you know, expose Mr. Patterson for who he really is, and we have to fix certain things because I didn't get a chance to fix them when I was there. My tenure was cut short. But what I really want, as I said, is just to ensure that we have a good leader and an NEC in place that has some backbone, that can share ideas and share perspective and not feel as if they will be reprimanded if they speak their mind, you know? So there are some things that I would like to put in place before I move on, you know. So it's not necessarily that I want to go back to the UIC because I have no intentions of joining the UIC if Mr. Patterson is still the leader of that organization. And even if we replace him and we have a temporary president or a president in place, I'll have to really think long and hard because I've kind of looking in another direction, you know, to, you know, do some other things. I'm 54, for Christ's sake. I don't need this level of stress in my life.
You look good for your age. I didn't know. What? Jaja.
No, I'm not a baby. I'm 54 this year.
You look good. You could never tell me that. You never tell me. You could never guess. I could never guess. Trust me.
Well, I guess stress agree with me.
I could never guess. I thought you were way younger than that.
Yeah.
So you tell me say older than me and me have the grey beard and I look so old. You look well for your age, man. Continue the way I do. So give me some more I think some people don't really understand what you're planning to do here. What you plan to do forward? What's going on here?
All right, well, as I said, what is going to happen next is right now, as most persons know, we're calling for all donations to cease. So if you're paying electronically, stop the payment. If you have paid for the year, demand a refund. Whatever it is, cease all donations until the UIC opens a UIC designated account, one that you can do electronic transfers and everything. That way we can get the transparency that it needs. So when the new leader is in place and the new MEC, it's not hard for persons to see exactly where their monies are going, because we can get the transparency from this account. But when it is in its personal capacity and you have 4 or 5 different members out there holding funds that we don't know anything about, the NEC doesn't know about, we're not brought into the mix, so it wasn't brought to our attention, similar to the account that was recently opened in Canada that sparked all of this controversy. So once we have that one single account for all monies to go in, it's easier to get transparency. And that the second thing we're going to be asking for is for the president to step down.
Jaja, I believe Mr. Patterson should go a long time. I tell a long time. I tell Mr. Patterson is out of my own mouth. Mr. Patterson. People talk to Mr. Patterson, and I tell Mr. Patterson, say, if you step down Mr. Patterson, you come back full force in Mr. Patterson. I say, Mr. Patterson, we go gather the people and Mr. Patterson, we can't grab them, people, we can't go grab them, I mean, some of them are saying no and all this thing and drag their foot on the ground, but people, we can't go work on them, people. I talk to them, When me and Mr. Patterson talk, people, so I go talk to them, and some of them say, yeah. People know somebody talk to them and some of the people on left say, yeah. But when we go back to Mr. Patterson, Mr. Patterson, so Mr. Patterson, you decide on stepping down, he said, I'm busy being the president of my party, of the UIC. That's what he tell me. I'm busy being the president of UIC. So he changed us up.
Well, let me concur with Mr. Mark Cameron. Mr. Mark Cameron did mention that Joseph is a dangerous man, and let me also agree that he is a dangerous man, because what he has been doing recently is calling people, because I have people calling me to telling me that he just called them to speak to them. And what he does, he called them and he tried to convince them to support him and to show what he does. He tells them, show me up in a bad light and talk so bad about me. And, it's even made them worse, because what they're thinking of him now, they can't believe that he would stoop to that level. So we can't have somebody like that as a leader.
Yeah, because we noticed the guy on the interview, the guy with that interview, Carlene, with Mark Renaissance that played, the guy was asking what happened with Mark. And he just asked, he's a young guy, a smart guy, was asking Mr. Patterson what happened to with Mark Cameron. But if you look, anybody go on that video, look at that young man's face. It seems as if he never expect to get that, to hear that from Mr. Patterson.
Yes.
He never expect that response from the man. The man just did it. And the youth just did it.
Anytime Mr. Cameron's name comes up, Mr. Patterson has never had anything good to say about Mr. Cameron. As we would say, the Norman man, straight bad mind. That's what I'm getting from the whole thing. But let me tell you, he has nothing good to say about Mr. Cameron, and several other persons too. But yes, he have it out for Mr.
What me do? Because since you did that, when all the things, what did I do to the UIC? Wrong. Tell me.
Well, let me tell you from my perspective, what I'm understanding is that from Mr. Patterson is that sometimes persons would call him to say, do this, do that, do this, and he's saying that they're expecting him to just jump and do as they say. But for you personally, he just thought that you were giving directives. And but overall, let me just put it in a general statement. Overall, if you're a strong person with a strong personality and you would come across as a challenge to Mr. Patterson, you're not going to go anywhere with him. He's going to find all the excuses to have a problem with you.
Well, let me tell you something.
So that's where it's coming from.
Let me tell you, Carlene, he was there. And he was, Carlene, you know when we start have a problem with Mr. Patterson, I'm going to find out some Mr. Patterson don't want to win the election, people. And I said, where the donation I go? Carlene, did you remember? And you guys right here, sometime last year, when we have the whole week is firestorm in Jamaica. We have air traffic controller strike. We have water commission worker strike. We have NHT worker strike. All in 1 week in Jamaica. Who remember that? Carlene, you remember that, right? Carlene,
yes, I do.
And Carlene, that was when me called Mr. Patterson and said, where the blue shirt there? That is low-hanging fruits. How come I not go out there with them? Guess what Mr. Patterson tell me and piss me off? They did not invite him. Carlene, did not what the man say, Carlene?
No, we fully, well, based on what we were getting from Mr. Patterson is that we can't be everywhere. So we weren't instructed to go out to participate in any way, shape, or form.
He come on YouTube and say he was not invited. But that's why I come and say, was Andre Stevens invited? Andre Stevens was not invited. And Andre Stevens go out there and ask the people what I want. And they were so happy to talk to Andre Stevens. That Andre Stevens page no big so yet. That Andre Stevens just a start. He page no big so yet. The young man go out there, take taxi. Me tell Mr. Patterson say, Mr. Patterson, you could go to Santa Cruz, can you live a book? Me say you could go to Santa Cruz, boss. Go get some candidate, go stand up with the NHT worker. Guess what Mr. Patterson say? He said, some of them expect me, I must leave my home, drive to Santa Cruz, in my throw work for me, you know, people. I say, I'm not only burning my gas, but wear and tear on my front end. So the poor people them with NHT who they don't deserve you burn some gas and walk out your front end, if you go look for them. But I want to get this clear, Carlene. Who pay for Mr. Patterson car front end if your front end knock out? Who pay for gas?
Well, it is clear, and everybody knows this. It's no secret. All the expenses of the Patterson seem to be taken care of nicely. But when it comes on to anyone else, like myself, I have to find the gas, I have to find the vehicle, I have to find everything, find my home food, all those things.
There you go. So his excuse didn't work out. Come and say, me I mash up the front end, we ran tape, and gas and all the people. And the UIC take care of everything, you know. Me say, me get you understand, say, Mr. Patterson drink a bottle of water. You have to refund for it. So Mr. Patterson didn't go up there, people. Guess what, people? Let me show you what pissed me off when we done to Mr. Patterson for real. Now, at the end of the week, people, one whole week, you know, NHT worker strike, air traffic controller strike, plane shutdown. Remember, people? National Water Commission worker strike 1 week. Remember in a grassroots party when I say the TV now give no traction? The news about Jamaica not give no traction. You have to run for the low-hanging fruits. Pure laziness. So now you call that tell me say, him no want a long time you say no want him a hold back candidates, you know. And people, guess what pissed me off? To put icing on the cake at the end of the week, that Friday. People, guess what Mr. Patterson did? He posted on his page a picture of him on the beach. No shirt in a short, no shoes. De-stressing. Carlene, allow me to tell. Carlene, allow me to tell. The man go put a picture up on him in social media upon the beach.
I am blocked from all the UIC pages, including Mr. Patterson's page. He blocked me. I can't see anything, so I don't know. I can't see anything.
No, man, but that was last. You know me at that moment, Carlene. Last year when we have a 3 strike, Carlene.
Oh, you mean last year? Oh, I thought it was recently. Sorry.
No,
yes.
last year we have a 3 strike. You remember the end of the week we have 3 strike and the whole week. No UIC go out there. And then time I push Mr. Patterson. We get mad at even the people.
I remember that clearly.
And that Friday what Mr. Patterson did. As a leader, you the Palm Beach, barefoot somewhere when Jamaica burned down. I talk about you de-stressing. People, that's what's been done. Because if you want anybody telling nothing, people, tell me say Mr. Patterson couldn't send 2 blue shots out there. Tell me say Mr. Patterson couldn't send 2 blue shots. Then they all about the island a strike. Them time that we have a lot of candidates, people. Then the time that we have candidates.
Mr. Carlos, we were told that we can't be everywhere, so no one was sent to represent.
People, so tell me where the people them donation money go. Are the candidates getting the money, Carlene? No.
No, they're not. So we really need some transparency, and the only way we're going to get it is if we remove the donations from Mr. Patterson's account. So we have to push and ensure that we seeing as it's not something they're willing to do willingly, we have to force them to get this done. So we have to seize all donations, cancel all your donations. If you have to paid for the year, you need to cancel those donations, because we have to send a message that this time around we are serious about the bank account and we're not taking any fancy talk coming out of your mouth. We want to see evidence. So if it is that the team goes to the bank today, bring back some evidence. Take out your video camera, show us what is taking place, but don't come with a bag of talk. We're tired of the talk. We are tired of the talking. We need to see some action now. We need to see evidence of what is taking place. And then once we have that account, then we will feel more comfortable to know that we will get the necessary transparency from that. But right now, as it is, we don't know how many accounts are out there. How many members are holding funds for the UIC? We don't know, because if I didn't get that minutes of meeting and saw where a new member was authorized by the president to open the account, I would not know anything about that either. And I get to understand that there are other accounts out there. We need to know who these people are and how much money are they holding in those accounts. Those accounts, and I gave him some recommendation, close those accounts immediately and forward the funds to his existing account that we're already using, the one that he has with him and his wife.
Why, Carlene, you put yourself out there? You have all people hate you too, you know. You're serious with the UIC, you have all people hate you. Your love for the UIC. Your love for the UIC, Carlene, you have people hate you. Jaja.
I know.
Jaja, but I'm glad you apologize, and I'm glad you come here. I'm really so happy to hear from you, because we've been hearing one side on Liberty TV all this time, and everybody said we're calling there, and then block you out. I'm going to say from the jump, I say, I want to hear from Carlene. I want to hear from Carlene. Because everybody, I say, if one man come up and say, Carlos, but I pick me, you know, you can simply say, sure, me know Carlos, but I lie that them I tell Panny man. But if everybody come back and say, me but I pick me, oh, you going to say I lie, them I tell. Wake up. That's why I'm glad you are here, Carlene. Do you have anything else to say?
I'm here now, and I would love to clear the air with some persons who believe that they might have some, some serious concerns. So I would love for them to ask me any questions,
All right, thank you.
I get a lot of bad name, so you have me here now, so please ask the questions.
Well, I love you for that. People, Ms. Ramirez want the question them. So all of you guys who think she did you bad and have some question, let me go back. I think
and let me tell you this, what you must know is that one thing with me, I'm a Virgo, I'm straightforward, and if I am wrong, I have no problem apologizing, and I have no problem stating if I'm wrong. That is one problem that is one thing about me that you will appreciate.
Oh, so guys, hold on, Debbie, I call. Hold on, Debbie. Well, Debbie, me not take the call right now. Debbie, you send a message in a send a message on the screen. Let me repeat, people. The number is 916. Sorry, guys, not 915. My bad. Thank you for telling me that I picked the wrong number, man. 916. Don't show no number by heart, no, you know. Call me mind time I wait me pass a call us gonna work. Sorry, guys. Don't call me until Mr. Ramirez come off of the line, right? Because more of you put the question in the comment section.
Remember, I told you that you need a part 2, part 3, and part 4.
Jaja.
You may not be able to get everything in one go.
Yeah. So Miss Lataya Wolf said, Carlene, why did Lataya Wolf leave?
Oh, she's asking why she left?
Yes.
Well, she left because we had a DRC. There is a matter relating, I don't know how deep she want me to go, but there is a matter relating to me recruiting an ex-member, an ex-partner of hers. And based on that, it didn't sit well with her. She had approached me to ask me not to bring him in because she wasn't comfortable with him being there. But I asked 2 questions. I asked her ex-boyfriend because as I said, when I'm doing my work, I'm really professional, the friend thing. Mm-hmm. So who knows me knows that. So I make sure I asked her, how did the relationship ended? Is it on good terms? She told me that yes, they still speak, they're on good terms. I asked the boyfriend, the ex-boyfriend, if he what was the relation? How did the relationship ended? And I was told that the relationship was ended on good terms. They even recently spoke, and she recently visited him. So based on the fact that that happened, I proceeded to recruit the gentleman into a parish manager status. And when he came in, That didn't sit well with her. It created a whole lot of confusion and contentions. I was brought up for it in a kind of DRC setting because then some new evidence was presented. I don't know if she wants me to say this too. Could you please ask her if she wants me to continue speaking?
Miss Wolf, do you want to continue speaking? Talk to me. Hold on there. Come on, Miss Wolf. No, I'm not going to answer yet. So,
all right, so let me see if I can just not divulge too much,
yes,
but
yes.
some new evidence presented itself of which I wasn't privy to.
Yes.
And that came out in the DRC. I made it clear that I knew nothing about that because if I had known about those new evidence, and as I sit here around this table, I can tell you that this is the honest truth, that I knew nothing. I've not heard that from Miss Wolf, nor from the ex-person that she was speaking with, or the current person that she was speaking with. That came up in the DRC. It created a huge contention, and as such, it wasn't rectified properly. It wasn't. She didn't get the satisfaction that she would have liked, the result that she would have liked from the DRC, and as such, she kind of lashed out and make her. Or how she felt beknown to the president because he was the one that was cheering that mediating between us, and she eventually left for those reasons.
Wow. Well, somebody asked, Derek Elliott asked, Carlos asked how many consular candidates leave in the UIC.
How much?
Consular candidates leave.
How much is left?
Yeah.
Well, I have a master list with almost 50 persons, and they're just lingering in the group. So I'm not sure who is still available, who is not, who has left. I can't give a definite figure because I was told by the president to cease all recruiting at the time because they're only pushing for their member. I was a part of the MP candidates that he's pushing up for the elections.
Mm-hmm.
Now that I'm no longer there, it's now 6, and that's who he's focusing on. So the recruitment are altered for now. So I'm not sure. I would have to reach out to them to see if they're still available and interested in, running for their divisions.
Wow. Questions, guys. May I look for questions? I'm not about time there. Questions. You let me tell you already, so a lot of because your love and your loyalty to the UIC, Mr. Patterson, you have earned a lot of enemies also. But it'll take time. People will look here. It take time will heal a broken heart. And just like how it take me time for come remember send me the mother to Come remember send me the video and bun me broke up in 2x4 verbally. You know that too, right?
Yeah, man, I get some beating. I still have scars from that beating.
I'm a bit tired of people.
And I said that loosely. And I said it loosely. Yes.
Yeah, I'm a beat up, I'm a page man. People not joke. Because, we're not going down the circuit because, we are moving forward. We're moving forward.
I took a beating. I took a serious beating for Mr. Patterson. I've took many serious beatings for Mr. Patterson. And this is the thanks that I get. This is how he repaid me for just asking some questions. In the confinements of policy, all trying to fix the issues. Because if he had answered me, then I would tell him what my recommendations would have been. And at least he can't say I didn't say, So that's all I wanted. And it wasn't to do anything or for any bad intentions or anything. But he brought it to this level instead of dealing with it internally. And I must say that I wasn't the one who released all those letters, I heard him talking about how he released those internal messages. And no, they were all out there. I just used it to defend myself because I see that they're already floating out there. So I did not release those letters, and I wasn't the one who came on live. He went on your show first.
Yes, he did. Yes, hold on. People, I just want you to know that Mr. Patterson came to the public first. I just want you to know that.
Yes.
He's the first one to bring out the dirty laundry. And did you know that, Carlene? Did you know that? I loved the UIC, and like just like you, I was loyal. Didn't know I deleted that interview with Mr. Patterson when he called here on my page first and said that there's a coup. Didn't know I deleted that picture, that video. You know why we deleted that? Because among all the beautiful stuff that I say about the UIC, we never want that bad energy to come there on the page and give the UIC a bad look because I was done with the UIC. Me delete it. No, go and Wayne Lonesome. You will still see that video right now on Wayne Lonesome when Mr. Patterson go up on it with the coup. Go up on Unstoppable. I think that video is up there. I'm the only one who deleted it. It's on Wayne Lonesome, guys. Go take a look. When Mr. Patterson, Wayne Lonesome
Yes, but
interview.
it doesn't look good because each time there is something that can be dealt with internally, you take it to the public. Why? And this is another trait of the narcissist. They always want to play the victim. So that is why it's important to understand who the narcissist is, so you can better understand the leader that you're dealing with. Because it's not normal. This is not normal, and it will not get better. It will get worse.
So, hey, Mr. Ramirez, what else you have to say? What else on the chest you want to say? Any final words? Just tell me.
Well, the only thing I would say is to all the members of the UIC, whether you're a supporter, whether you're a donor, whether you have a little bit of interest, whether you have full interest, whatever it is, and you're looking on, join the meeting on Sunday. And let us figure out how to save this great, esteemed movement, because nothing is wrong with the movement. The issue is with the leader. And until we come to that realization and do what is necessary, even though it's going to pain some of our heart, because I know it's going to hurt. As much as he treated me bad and deal with me the way he did, it's going to pain my heart to see him step down. If he doesn't, and we take it to the courts to have him removed, then it's really going, whichever way it is, it's going to pain my heart. But we have to do everything in our power. All is not lost. Let us do what we have to do now and save the UIC. So that is where we're at now.
Somebody, I have another question for you. Silver Fox said, based on the policy that he wrote, will he continue to get two donations after he gets voted out?
Sorry, repeat that question.
Silver Fox said, based on the policy that he wrote, will he continue to get donation after he gets voted out?
No, the donation does not belong to Mr. Patterson. The donation belongs to the movement, to uplift the movement, to accomplish our missions and our goals. It's not for Mr. Patterson. So if Mr. Patterson decides to do the right thing and to gracefully step down, right, all the donations will go into our UIC account, and that will go towards the upliftment of the movement, towards the candidate, wherever it is needed for us to strive as a movement. That's where the money will go. The money doesn't belong to Mr. Patterson.
So, Devon Thompson said, Carlos, you are letting Carlene off.
Or is it that he's asking about the stipend? No, not the first person. Is it that he's asking about the stipend, if he will still get the stipend?
Yeah, you talk about the account, the money.
Oh, the money. Well, no, it doesn't belong to Mr. Patterson. The first statement stands.
What about the stipend? What about the stipend, just in case the second one?
Well, in relation to the stipend, it was something that the NEC had agreed on, and even if it's a technical matter, because according to the Constitution, that NEC body that gave him the stipend is not really the legitimate NEC. So therefore, as such, the stipend is not legitimate either.
So the stipend is not legitimate. People in the back, a stipend, it sounds sweet, a pay you get. But because it's so little, people think they're not getting enough. I'm just getting a little pittance. Poor people say pittance. Rich people say stipend. It's not enough. They get pay, people are pay. So the pay is 1,100 US dollars a month each. I was reading.
It's about I think it's about 167,000 Jamaican dollars.
Yes.
1,100 US each.
Yes. So, and for both of them, so the wife is getting the same amount of pay as the president. It's as if Andrew's wife is getting, imagine if Juliet was getting the same pay Like Andrew, I cannot that Guana people. I mean, I know Guana people. Something no smell good. Something no. Oh, why you think his wife getting the same pay like the president? You think she's working equally as hard as him? Not to disrespect her efforts. Not to disrespect her.
We're not disrespecting her. She knows that I love her irrespective of what's taking place. What I feel sad about though is the fact that she's so silent in the face of all of this that is going on. I think as the first lady, she should step up and speak and say something, even if she's in agreement with what her spouse is doing, that's fine. But why I chose to give her the stipend is not because of, I didn't look at the level of work that she was doing. I was more looking at the fact that she has made sacrifices for not having, to have the full use of her husband, because I know he spends a lot of time doing a lot of things. So for that sacrifice that she has made and for the family, I just thought that it would be fitting for her to get the same stipend.
Well, I guess Miss Honesty to get the same pay like her husband then. About some of the case. Yes. You know what I mean? But so we could go back before we hang up. Let's go back to the retro pay. How many years the UIC months the UIC owe Mr. Patterson, Mr. and Mrs. Patterson back?
Well, so far, I don't have that information in front of me, but so far it should be anywhere in about 4 point something million.
Hold on there. For what?
About 4 point something million it should reach, because the last time it was presented in the NEC, it was close to 4 million. And I think about 2 months. Yes, about 2 months have passed already. So it should go up to about 4 million, a little over 4 million. Listen, and let me tell you what persons need to understand what that means, right? Even though where we're sitting, it's not legitimate based on his status, because he had resigned. But let's say that it's legitimate, right? If it is that the UIC should dissolve, right? That means anything what comes out first is the money that UIC owes to whoever. So in this case, the Pattersons, so that's the first money what comes out of any money that the UIC has would go towards the payment of the Pattersons.
Brilliant work, Jaja. So hold on. So we have the last time you, Mr. Patterson, said we have $6 million in the UIC kitty. Just the other day. A year before or two, he said we have $6 million. So we have $6 million again. I guess the same amount of donors, them steady.
There's no way to say definitely how much money we are actually getting in donations. There's no way. We have no transparency. There's no way to know. All we have is to rely on the words coming from Mr. Patterson and the treasurer. And we all know that the treasurer is really, she's just there for a front. It's really Mr. Patterson that is handling the finances. Everybody knows that. He's a CPA, not Naiko, right? So we don't know how much money the UIC has been getting in donations. So it's for us to push for the account so that we can have better transparency. So he can say anything he can say. We don't know.
Jaja. But you know what, Carlene, you have the last word, sister, because this video is over 3 hours, going 4 hours. That's a half a day pay now, almost lunchtime now. So so do you have the last word to say?
All I want to say is that uniters, we need to wise up and we need to open our eyes. And it can't be that Mr. Patterson is telling you not to let the 2 colonial party leaders trick us anymore while he's there tricking us. We have to just call a spade a spade. We have to call it for what it is. And right now we are divided. So why are we called the United Independence Congress if we're divided? So we cannot continue with this division any further. We cannot continue with this kind of hard and sledgehammer approach to leadership. We cannot continue with this level of unprofessional conduct, this disrespect, because I heard when Mr. Patterson disrespected a former vice president, Mr. Donovan Moore, online, and also insulted another senior member, which is Miss Elsa Tremblay. And we cannot continue to have these kind of style of leadership. It is not getting us anywhere. So as soon as we take one step forward, we take 10 steps backward, and that is not success. So even though you hear him chanting success, he's the only one chanting success because he's the only one who knows how much money he has collected so far, so he's the only one that can chant success and ask for more donations. But we're not going to be tricked anymore. We don't care who it's coming from, whether JLP, PNP, or a UIC leader. We're going to say what we mean and mean what we say, that we are different, that we respect the values and the principles that we're guided by in relation to the Constitution, and that we're going to be governed by the Constitution. And as such, the president has faulted, and for that, we're asking him to step down gracefully. And don't let me have to go to court to remove you. But you have to step down gracefully. You've done your time. Time come, and we just have to deal with it accordingly.
Wow.
But the movement must progress. We must succeed, but we will not succeed when we have a tyrant at the head. So we have to remove the tyrant, and we need someone who is more a humble leader who understands what it's like to deal with a diverse group of people. We need a leader who is very compassionate. We need a leader who understands to keep his flock together. But you can't have your flock all over the place, disgruntled and hurt, and you're talking about United Independence Congress? No. Enough of this now, and that's it.
All right, so boy, so Carlene, it's
Meeting on Sunday. We'll share the link. Please come, share your ideas. All are welcome. We have to fix this.
Is that virtual meeting?
It's a Zoom meeting, yes.
Yes. So the link is gonna be where?
It's going to be posted, and I'm going to try to just ask person to share it because I'm not on any one of the UIC platforms, so I just have to share it in a group and ask the members to share it from near and far.
Okay.
And persons can call me. My number, you can give them my number and have them call me if they want me to send them the Zoom link, but it will be available on Friday.
Okay.
Yes.
So guys, you want get in the meeting, the Zoom link. It's important. I want to hear. I'd like to, if we have time, I'd like to listen in and hear what's going on. I want to do that.
Yeah.
All right, guys?
Yes, but the NEC, current NEC is not welcome. Mr. Joseph Patterson is not welcome. Mrs. Patterson is not welcome because we want to fix things as members. We already see their position and we know where they stand. We need to meet as members and to trash this out our way.
All right, Carlene, thank you so much for really coming on and the courage we have to come shed some light in these dark areas, and I really respect that. And like I said,
yes.
My position, how I felt, but true, me not get mad at people forever, me not keep up nobody in my heart, my heart too small, and me can't get nobody in my heart. So, a forward movement to everything. Country over everything. Country over man or party, people.
Thank you.
So
thank you very much.
Thank you for this highlight this evening, Carlene. And I will call you. You better believe me, I'll call you.
Yes,
and don't be
no
afraid to
problem.
call me and give me highlights and heads up what's going on. Right?
I will. Love you, everyone. Love you. It's all about love and respect. Love you. And this is coming from my heart. Okay? No hard feelings. My line is open. Mr. Carlos, please share my number.
Call the number one time. I say the number out your mouth there. Me plug it in.
Oh, it's 5. Sorry, it's 5. Thank you. It's 503 7240. 503 7240.
503. Hold on, let me put it
503 7240.
876 people. 876. Don't forget, it's 876.
Yes. All right, thank you. Bye-bye.
Carlene, thank you so much for coming on.
Yep. You're welcome.
Yes, man.
And I was out of my comfort zone. My heart is now beating normal. Thank you for making it so comfortable.
It's all
and
good.
Thank you to everyone for not giving me a hard time. I appreciate it. Thank you.
It's all good. It's all enough love.
All right, bye-bye.
Yes, sister, enough love. So I pin her number, people, so they can call her and talk to her. People didn't know me upon the almost 4 hours, people. It's over 3 hours. Be hungry now. Ja. So if I work with somebody right now, I look for the next half of my day. Imagine you're outside at work. 4 hours, then lunchtime. And 4 more hours, take a little break or use the bathroom time to go home. Me I do 3.5 hours, people. That's unlike me. I'm not the type of blogger who do these long video. But this is very important, people. And thank you for all the Ramirez. So me pin her number, people. So they can call her. You know? If you want to call her and tell her to Christmas Carol, or call her and say, girl, thank you for, thank you so much. It's up to, me pin the number. That Miss Carlene's Ramirez number. Okay? Thank you so much, people, for tuning in. I want to take call, people, but we can't. People, it's almost 3-4 hours. I'd love to. So I know I tell some of you guys, say, I want you guys calling. But me hungry, people. I gotta find something to eat. And I say, I'm out dry up. Yeah, I love you guys. Thank you so much for tuning in, okay? Share this video. Very important. Peace.